The Earth is very flat.
What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. This is Brandon, host of Brandon's Show. And it is Free-Ballin Wednesday. Ball free, free-ballin', I don't know, whatever. It's Wednesday. We're going to start the show off for an hour and a half with just flat earthers, discussing whatever we want to discuss. I'm going to leave it up to the panel. I do have a couple of topics in the queue, but we'll see what they come up with. And looks like sound is good out there. Good. Thank you very much, Bill. Oddly, I can't hear anything on my panel here. Hopefully I can hear what's going on in the Discord. I guess we'll find out in a minute. But we got Rachie, Bill G, Ian Adams, Paul Cruikshank, Smurfer Girl Whatevs, The Plain Truth. Let's see, who else? Did I say Ian Adams? I think I did. Silent Zero, Flurfing Expert, Dan Morris, Balding Elf, Anders Ace, The Snark, Chrissy Heavey, Gary Wybinga, Carlos 888, Enigma, Page 42, and more to come. What's going on, guys? How are you doing? Yes, Silent Zero. I watched that video. That was pretty sweet. I'm definitely going to play that for the audience. Actually, I think I'll play it right now since they won't be able to hear it in the Discord anyway. And we'll get that out of the way. Hopefully you guys can hear it. We'll see. But this is that video from last night that Silent Zero had sent me. And I said, I can't play it because they won't hear it. I watched it today and I was like, oh shit, man, this is perfect. But I didn't figure out who this guy is. Who is this? Do you know, Silent Zero, who this is? Because I have no clue. Let's hope that you guys can hear the audio here. I'm going to click play and we'll find out.
Science. People coming out of a university with a master's degree or a PhD, you take them into the field and they literally don't believe anything unless it's a peer-reviewed paper. It's the only thing they accept. And you say to them, but let's observe, let's think, let's discuss. They don't do it. It's just, is it in a peer-reviewed paper or not? That's their view of science. I think it's pathetic. Gone into universities as bright young people, they come out of them brain dead, not even knowing what science means. They think it means peer-reviewed papers, etc. No, that's academia. And if a paper is peer-reviewed, it means everybody thought the same, therefore they approved it. An unintended consequence is that when new knowledge emerges, new scientific insights, they can never, ever be peer-reviewed. So we're blocking all new advances in science that are big advances. If you look at the breakthroughs in science, almost always they don't come from the center of that profession. They come from the fringe. The finest candle makers in the world couldn't even think of electric lights. They don't come from within. They often come from outside the breaks. We're going to kill ourselves because of stupidity.
We're going to kill ourselves because of stupidity. Oh boy. That's not true, but I'm thinking it already is in many cases. That was a good clip there, Silent Zero. I don't know who the hell that guy is. Does anybody know who that guy is? And I see Will says he doesn't think peer review is nonsense. I don't think it's nonsense either, but I think I agree with that guy that just because something is peer reviewed doesn't mean that it's written in stone. I don't think the people who do the peer reviews think that, but there does seem to be a lot of people who rely very heavily on peer review. And if it's not peer reviewed paper, then it's not worth looking at. So I thought that was an interesting perspective. No idea who that guy is. The Lunatic Fringe. It's a good song. That's what I should have told the guy for the new song for the intro. Damn it. I'll probably get a copyright strike. Anyway, okay, let's go in Discord and see what's going on.
What was it about?
What's up,
There's a
Nick?
guy talking about breakthroughs. Peer review is just more academia, not science. People go to college as bright young men and come out as brain dead fucking replicas. Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly, man. The breakthroughs come from outside the box. It's about a guy, saying how kids, bright young men go to college as bright young men and come out as replicas.
Yeah, they've instilled their ideologies in you and their paradigms and act like it can't be anything else but the way they say it is. So you have to be able to regurgitate it, believe it, all that. So, yeah.
He made a comment that, like the best candle makers couldn't even imagine electric, light bulbs and shit. It's like we're never gonna, in my opinion, they're stuck with this fusion idea that is not even what they think. In my opinion, it's plasma based in some sort of way, but they're stuck in this paradigm, and if it doesn't agree with their math and their, if it doesn't fit in with their electrons and all this shit, with their possibilities, then it's not science, and that's just saying no more new technology, no more new science. Pretty much, you're stuck here because if it ain't peer reviewed, then it's not possible.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What up?
Yeah, I think that's
What's going
the
on,
attitude,
Brandon?
Brian. That if it's not peer reviewed, then it's
That's
not
you, Brandon.
possible, or it's not worth talking about. I think that's the problem. I don't think there's anything wrong with peer review itself. Doing peer reviews,
There is.
having people
There
look
is.
at stuff, getting other people's opinion. But
Yeah, that's a
literally
good
been
idea.
there's literally been inventions where they try to get patents and get turned down with the invention, like what's his name? Oh man, Stan Myers with the car. I know I bring that one up a lot, but that he had to patent that thing. He went the long route with the patent, like he patented it in steps to make sure he got through. He did the certain electrolysis was probably already patented and all that stuff. So he did like a certain device. He patented that. Then he patented like the type of the voltage with the current and the way he split it. Just certain things he said the way he was having to do it. He knew he was going to have to because he knew that he would get red tape, red flags at the patent office. So it was man, but they got his ass, man. He didn't want to sell, and he claimed they poisoned his ass at dinner before he died. He claimed that they poisoned him, and when I tell this to people like over at Jose's other people, they act like I'm stupid. I'm like, the guy was offered a handsome amount, like in the billions or billion of dollars, to sell his patent, where he had a device that would that could retrofit any gasoline engine, any car, any truck, where it was a HHO converter. If you don't know what I'm talking about, where it turns water into hydrogen and oxygen. And man, I've tried to do it. It's difficult, man. But there's a sweet spot, he said, with a certain amount of volts and a certain amount of amps that make it work. But he drove a dune buggy across the country on PM Magazine, an old entertainment show, like a news entertainment show back in the '80s. And he went ahead, man. He wouldn't sell.
The problem is that people try to patent these things thinking they're going to get filthy rich, but in all reality, there's no way they're ever going to let that come out. So you'd be better off just putting it out there for free and not dying than, trying to patent it and make zillion dollars off it. You know what I mean? That's people's greed.
Yeah, but this guy was a God-fearing. He was a God-fearing man. He was in the military. He said he gave the technology to the military, which doesn't surprise me. But he said that we were like one day he was like apparently high up. I don't know how high, but he said people didn't know it. We were like one day of running a crisis on fuel or what? You can't hear me?
You're just breaking up a little bit. It's very hard.
Up.
Yeah, I'll try and get my mic sorted.
There is one more point that I wanted to show, for you to see on that video, is that video seems to be a little bit old, and the point is that people have been thinking this for for a long time. It's not a new thing, right? That's another thing.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to let new
Oh, you're breaking
technology
up now.
come out.
Oh yeah, you're roboting.
If you're
hard,
selling
Brandon.
$10 trillion of oil a year, the last thing you want is a car running on. All right, am I good now?
Yeah, but they talk. Yeah, but they talk about they talk about pollution, all this stuff, and what we have to do, carbon footprints, and all this shit. But yet we have something that the exhaust from that is water from breaking down from electrolysis and burning the hydrogen. The exhaust is water and water vapor, so it's as clean as it can get. So they're stomping. They're biting their tongue. They're double speaking, and that's amazing, ain't it? We never hear that.
But
Hey, let me just jump in real quick, Brandon. You're really low on YouTube, man.
Which part? My microphone?
Yeah, when I jumped back onto YouTube and you talked, you were a lot lower than anybody else on the panel. So you want to maybe check with anybody else, but I couldn't hardly hear you on the YouTubes.
Okay. All right.
Just to let
Thanks,
you know.
man. Yep. That's weird.
the thing is, if you're selling $10 trillion worth of oil every year, the last thing you want is cars running on water. So you're gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that doesn't happen. Whether it means buying stuff,
that's what I was thinking, man.
it, or whether it means buying the patents and suppressing it, or just taking out the people that apply for the patent. Anything, whatever you have to do, it's a lot of money. We talked about
Jeremy,
this yesterday. Cash rules.
You don't think that I actually think that if we have cars running on water, that would probably change the climate a lot more than what we have right now.
You think so?
Yeah, imagine all
do
the
this,
water
man.
vaporizing. Imagine all water vaporizing, and I mean, I don't know how it will work, right? But I do
No,
believe.
dude, check it out. The way they're talking about bringing in hydrogen in these cars is going to these stations and all that with like liquid hydrogen that's produced like either hauled in or made on site. The point is we can make individual devices and hook them up to the car like he did, because like when a car's moving, not only do you have the air, which you can conduct a lot of power, but you also have the motion of the tires and all that. I mean, dude, you'd need a battery. You'd probably need a few good batteries and maybe a real good alternator, maybe even an extra alternator. But dude, they can do this. I promise you. If I was able to run my generator, my generator for my house for backup power, if I was able to run that even for a few seconds, like about 4 or 5 seconds in this HHO gas, then I know for a fact they can do pretty much probably anything within limits with it, man. If I can do it.
It can be done, but you probably need to implement like a lot of systems within the car to harvest all energy coming from every single part of the car, right? Like the most you can, from the tires spinning, from the gathering of the air, like pretty much gotta find a way to harvest all that energy.
Yeah, but look, man. But look, see what they did is they put in like O2 sensors and shit now. So now you can't hook one up because of the oxygen in the Brown's gas or the HHO, whatever you want to call it. It's got oxygen in it, or what they call it detects it and it'll shut down the jet. I mean, or however it works. But the O2 sensors are going to restrict the intake from the gas. So it's like they did this shit on purpose, man. It seems like to me, man. I had a guy said he certain, I think it was a cam or something, or I forgot what it was, but he said a long time ago, and he was getting like 80 miles to the gallon, and he went to try and find one like 5-10 years later, and they weren't nowhere to be found. And I wish I remembered a little bit more about that. But yeah, the O2 sensors, man, they what the fuck do they really need an O2 sensor for? Like to detect oxygen? Why is it got to be oxygen? You know, can it just be regular air? You know, what are they worried about? The oxygen, us driving through a spot with less oxygen or something. I mean, what's the point? You know,
It has to do with the mixture. It adjusts your fuel based on the O2 content of the exhaust.
it doesn't surprise me. There's a response. I'm just saying, man. It's like, what good were cars without O2 sensors? They're fine, man.
So you think that they are purposely holding down technology that would lead to greater efficiency for vehicles, or
money?
What do you think?
For money, to get money, yes, absolutely. There's no question. Yeah, there's no question in my mind.
Unheard of.
It adds up. Yep.
Think about.
You're roboting again, Jeremy. No good.
Jeremy, I can't hear shit you're saying, man. But
yeah, get on him, Brian. He's always giving you shit, man.
If you
Brian and Jeremy always have internet problems.
Oh my God, I know.
Jeremy, you're gonna have to drop and rejoin, bud.
Yeah.
Jeremy, pay your phone bill, man.
No, it ain't a phone bill, man.
Between
It's
Jeremy and
Discord. It's
Jeremy.
only this Discord we get all this shit, dude. All the other Discord seem to be fine, man. But yeah, man, I think a little bit conspiracy. But no, here's the point, man. Like all these technology, like the Joe Cell, like Stan Meyer, like all these things. Okay, they, you know, whether they work or not, get it out there so people can add new shit to it and talk about it. It's obvious to me that they're suppressing. I mean, they're worried about it because they suppress the shit, man. That shit should be everywhere because everybody's interested in that, in the free and things like that. And it seems like the only thing they show are the bullshit videos that get 1 million views where a dude's got a hidden fucking motor with magnets or something, man. But all the real deal, I tell people they've never even heard of it, man. This should be front page.
Let's just put a scenario forward. Brandon, you own a company that sells $1 trillion worth of oil a year. And there's all the cars are using this to get around. Now, somebody comes out with an invention that says, oh, we'll run your car off water. How much would you pay for that patent to suppress it?
Oh, yeah, they for sure have a huge motive to suppress any technology that, and especially since I think the one with the biggest motive is the oil and gas industry.
Big pharma, oil, big oil.
I mean, plus that the whole economy is built on top of it because of the petrodollar, right?
OPEC, yeah.
So if oil collapsed,
And I need to,
just the
this
whole
show is
fucking
motivating
economy
me,
would
man.
implode, I think.
This show's motivating me, man. I don't know if anybody's seen my old try to run a generator. Well, I got it running for a few seconds on this HHO gas. But when I took it out, I had what?
Are you guys in a fucking submarine together or something?
I'm fine. You got to stay at the front of the submarine, Brian.
Roger that. Am I good here? There might really be a dead spot like that you're talking about. Can you hear me right here?
Man, you all should just stay still. Stop moving around when you're using the internet.
Exactly. Stay at the front of the submarine, please, for the love of God.
If Brian stops moving, he dies. He's like a shark. Yes.
That's funny, dude. That's hilarious. Dude, my daughter is the same way, dude. I watch her out there on the phone and walking around. It's so funny. It's like a spitting image of me, bro. But can y'all hear me now? I'm at the front of the submarine. Am I good?
There you go. You're good. Yes. Yeah. Good
All
service.
right, I'll stay in this area, man. That's funny. But no, I don't know if anybody's seen my video, but trying to run a generator on HHO gas. And we went through a whole little rebuild of the, it's basically in a fucking jar. And I pretty much got it running for a few seconds and it shuts off. But when I tore it down, I just kind of gave up a little bit. It backfired on me. And but I just really wanted to show that it could be done. I didn't get it running for long, but the fact of the matter is I took out the carburetor, period, so nobody can say you got gas. I hooked the intake from the HHO gas going straight to the motor, straight to the engine, right? So no carburetor, no gas, no bullshit accusations. but I showed that it could work. And but when I went to break it down, I had a valve splitter with two of the jars going into one. And after I took it apart, I found out one of my intakes was clogged. So I was running it on one, and I went through all that trouble to make two of them to produce more gas, and it was only running off of one anyway. So this video is motivating me to rebuild it and see if I can get it running for 15 seconds.
I mean, that's a thing, right? Those what is it called? HHO engines?
Yeah, they use it for welding,
thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
they use it
I can
for
show
welding.
you right here, man. It's really easy, and here's what to do, man. Here's what I did. I took steel plates. You can use any metal, but the stainless steel doesn't rust fast. If you use most metals, they rust real fast, and we can't afford gold or silver. So we use stainless steel, and you just take plates and you alternate them, and then off the positive side, you get oxygen bubbling off of it, and on the negative side, you get hydrogen. So it's supposed to be 2 parts hydrogen, so you get more bubbling off the negative. And but the thing is, you can separate it if you want, but it floats. It's lighter than air. It's flammable. It burns hotter than butane or propane. I've never tried it in a torch, but I've seen it in videos. And this stuff, all you do is take a plate and you just put a gasket in between them, right? So you go positive, negative, or you could just go like positive, 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 negative, negative, negative. Anyway, you just make sure they're not touching, make sure they're insulated from each other, and make sure, you just run some of the plates to positive, some of them to negative, and then run it through out of a hose and then into like a bubbler, they call it, to clean it and to make sure there's no backfire. You don't want, because just for safety reasons, if you go to do it, run it through another jar of water where the gas comes up out of the water through another hose. It's clean, and it's like an arrestor so you don't get any backfire. But all you got to do is put a few volts to it, and boom, you start producing the gas. The more volts you put, more amps current, the more gas you get. It does produce a lot of heat though, but there's ways to get around that, man. But it's real technology, man, and anybody can do it. Like I said, if I can make that shit run for 5 seconds in my garage with a fucking pickle jar, then they can hook one up to your car. I guarantee it.
Is it dangerous?
Oh yeah, some rudimentary thing you created with a fucking pickle jar in your garage. You could definitely make a something engineered better to do better, obviously.
It's dangerous if you're if you leave your common sense out of the project. As long as you use common sense and run it through a bubbler. I make this hydrogen gas with the Muriatic and the other way. It's easier to me, but it's not HHO. It's just straight hydrogen. But no, it's as long as you run it through an arrestor, a bubbler, then it's not going to backfire on you. So the only thing you can get, and also, man, you can take the bubbles it makes on top, and it implodes. There's a video, a couple of people have done examples of this. It pops, it's real loud, but instead of exploding, it implodes, they say. It makes a real loud noise, but you don't even barely feel it on your hand. I've done it. Put the bubbles on my son's hand and lit it.
You know what I bet Stanley Meyer was doing? I bet he was using the oxygen too. Like once you use the pure oxygen's flammable. Wouldn't you want to use that too, and the hydrogen?
From what I've watched, because there was a lot of long, tedious videos of him just talking about it in meetings with a few special people in his group, and he just made it sound like there's a sweet spot for voltage and current. There's a sweet spot where it's like way more efficient than anything else. So you would want to maintain that voltage.
But if you were going to split that hydrogen and oxygen out of a water molecule, wouldn't you also use the oxygen one too, and not just the hydrogen?
I'll be honest, man. I tried to do it, and I put the plates. I used two coke. I didn't make this story short. I split it and had the bubbles from the positive coming up one and negative coming up the other, and I split it. But it was the same shit on both sides, man. That's my personal experience with it.
So I do remember hearing about this guy, Stanley Myers. I haven't looked into it, or Meyer. I haven't looked into it in detail, but is anybody familiar with the story of what happened to this guy? I mean, what happened with his invention?
So he, like I said, he was a patriot, and he, we were right there on the brink of an oil crisis. We were like a day away. We were in the red, and all the citizens didn't even know. So this is when he was in the military. So he set out to try and make a device, and he pulled it off. So then he was out in the military. He said he shared his information with the military, and he patented it in steps. So then he went on PM Magazine, drove a like a little buggy, a dune buggy type of car, all the way across America on camera, had everybody inspect it. It was the real deal. It was a device that retrofitted any gasoline engine. And they came, and he was a patriot, so he was trying to keep it in America. And I mean, he should have, in my opinion, man, I don't know, he did share it, but in my opinion, if somebody finds something like this, man, they need to just share it with everybody. Fuck the patent offices.
Yeah. If anybody comes up with a device that's going to change humanity forever, don't try to get it patented. You're just going to get yourself killed.
Yeah, and we'll all give you a bunch of money. If you come up with something and share it, make a video, make it public, we'll all chip in, right, guys? We'll all give you like $10.
Exactly.
Be super rich.
If we all give him $10, he'd be a gajillionaire. And there's some shit like this going on, but he shared it with enough people where, I found out about it. And got my generator running off the shit for a few seconds. But so here it is. So he had people offering him. So he went out to dinner. Supposedly some Belgian oil investors who took him out to dinner and made him an offer. Like I think they said like $1 billion. That's not important. They made him a hell of an offer, and he turned it down. He said he wanted to keep it in the country, and then he died that night after. He died. He said they poisoned him, and he said he was poisoned. He was, doubled over in agony and died shortly after the dinner. And he claimed to his brother and to the people that they poisoned him, and because he turned their offer down. And they put in the newspapers that he had aneurysm. He died of an aneurysm. Like, what the fuck? You're hunched over, doubled over, puking, fucking dying. Just said somebody poisoned you, and you just conveniently die, and they put it aneurysm. Oh my God, man, that's obvious bullshittery to me.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with this source here, Gaia.com, but just let me read this for people who aren't familiar with this story of his death. On March 21st, 1998, Meyer was having lunch at Cracker Barrel with his brother, of course he was, and two potential Belgian investors. The four clinked their glasses to toast their commitment to uplifting the world. He took a drink of his cranberry juice, clutched his throat, and ran outside. His brother found him down on his knees vomiting, and he muttered his last words, evidently, were, "They poisoned me."
Who does that?
More
Who does
specific,
a billion? Who does a $1 billion deal at Cracker Barrel?
I'll tell you this though, man. Yeah, down home country boy, man. But anyway, look. So let me say one more thing. He, what was I going to say? They poisoned him. Okay. Wait, God dang, I had a very important point, man. And then you got me thinking.
My bad.
Who makes $1 billion deal at Cracker Barrel?
Hey, Jeremy, where would you make the deal, Jeremy? Where would you make the deal?
Steakhouse, maybe gets the Outback, or at least I don't know.
Oh yeah, the patent. I think his patents are still they're unrenewed. I think they expired, if I'm not mistaken. His brother, for obvious reasons, in my opinion, hasn't renewed them. I think they just not too long ago expired. So
how come we haven't just gone and checked the patent office and just built the thing?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Why didn't we do that? I don't know.
I'd like to just go to the patent office and go through their cabinet of shit that they turned down. That's probably a better cabinet than the.
We're not saying you could sell it on the open market, but if everyone could do this, like if this isn't something that's that difficult to do to your own vehicle already, then why aren't we just saying fuck it and just taking his patent and just doing it?
Yeah, and how come nobody else has figured this out? I mean, if he made this big breakthrough, how come no one else has figured it out?
I mean, what I showed is that it will run a motor. I got a Coleman generator. It's probably about 20 years old, man. And I took the carburetor off of it to show people because I had it running. You know, it'll run off any gas. They have shit now where they have adapter kits where you can hook them up to what I probably recommend if somebody's going to do this is buy one of them adapter kits where you can hook up the propane tanks and then just make your device fit into that. Dude, if I put my mind to it long enough, man, I know I could do it, man. It's just it's you know, you need time and a few dollars depending on how far you want to take it, right?
Why can't you go look at his patent and see exactly how he did it? He must have patented the thing, right? Like, I don't know how patents work, but isn't it like there in the patent?
Yeah, it
record?
says that many of his patents have expired, and you can see them in Google's patent catalog. So evidently they're all out there.
Yeah, why do we need, you don't need time, you just need to go look up his patent and do it and do what he did, right?
But
Well,
why
I've
hasn't somebody
showed the
done
shit
that?
works. I've showed that
Yeah,
it
but-
works at my channel. Flat Earth Test. Anybody want to see a generator running on HHO gas for a few seconds? Go to Flat Earth Test and go down. It's about halfway through my videos, man. It's about a year or two old, but I showed it working.
Huh. Now,
Yeah, we
I'm
know it works.
skeptical of this thing because obviously it works somehow. The patents are out there. Why hasn't someone recreated whatever it was that he did?
Like, there
Did
would
he
be
have-
people all over the place right now having modified their vehicle to run off water. If you know,
You can't, man. You got to read.
I
You
knew
got to read
someone
the
in
electrical,
California
man.
that could do
Like I
that.
said, they got O2 sensors, man.
And in certain states, like in California, like if you have to get an inspection, certain things might not pass an inspection because you modified it, and therefore you won't be able to get a license for that car on the road. And how do you know that people haven't been doing this, and that they might actually just go after copyright claims or patent claims because they don't want anyone doing it, so they're trying to protect this one guy's patent, waiting for it to run out, and then just taking it and doing it themselves behind closed curtains. I mean, no, I think this is all bullshit. I trust the oil companies. They're telling us the truth.
Yeah, that's a good point. White's Word says that the patents are not complete. So there's
They're
something
incomplete,
missing out there in
yeah.
the patent. That would make sense too.
That's what I'm saying. People would be, we would know if people were doing this. Somebody would have said, hey, I'm running my, you know, I would have heard it through the grapevine that I'm running my car off water. Let me show you how or something, you know? I don't know.
I've seen a bunch of
Yeah, no,
people
have.
try
No,
to do
and the
it.
people can. I know people in California who did. It was like a conversion of some kind. I can remember exactly if it was this one or something else, but they added a thing and they got an extra 30 miles to the gallon on their big SUV.
No shit.
30 miles a gallon is huge, but that's still,
the
it's got
engine up
gas.
super fast, or was there a trade-off, or?
Oh man,
anything
it's
like
good
that?
for it. Runs engines. It runs clean.
Oh, they were still using gas though in the SUV thing, right, Fuzzy?
Yeah, at some point, because the car needed to still run on the gas, but like I'm not saying this was exactly what you guys are talking about, but there are conversions out there to make it run on water or whatever there's all kinds of things. There are all kinds of solutions out there to all the world's problems, except the people who are running the world don't want those solutions. It's fairly obvious.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Will Gaston says that Bob Lazar introduced and built a hydrogen-powered car in the 70s, not a patent, a working model.
Yeah. Dare I say it's patently obvious?
Yeah.
Oh, mute him.
That was terrible, yeah.
Bob Lazar's the guy who, I don't know, didn't he say he worked at Area 51 and
Yeah, the UFO whistleblower.
Yeah, him.
Did they release this UFO shit or what? I thought June 1st was going to be the day.
Is it June 1st?
Didn't you guys hear?
I heard that they were going to release it in June. I just didn't hear what day.
Yeah, they said they were going to, and it's slowly coming out. But yeah, I trust whatever the government has to say about it for sure.
Absolutely. How else are we going to know?
They're in the best interest for them to tell the truth now.
Well, if the government doesn't tell us, how are we going to know what's the truth or not? You know?
He's got a point there, Fuzzy.
Yep.
No.
'Cause
One day ago, UFO sightings. I don't see anything. Seems like that would be a big headline if they actually release some stuff. This says next week, U.S. government UFO report may arrive. Oh, fucking pop-ups.
Now, see, that's the thing. Most people already believe in aliens. They just don't. It's just not because it's popular opinion. Even when they just want people believing in space. That's exactly what they want. But the point is that most people, they assume I believe in space. Therefore, there has to be some other life forms out there. We can't be the only ones. Therefore, UFOs have got to be some unreal. I don't trust the government, but what I don't understand is that why are you trusting the government now? They've lied about it your whole life, but now you're going to start believing them about whatever they claim UFOs are going to be?
Well, as long as they tell us the truth at some point, then it's okay, right? We went through this last week, this little exercise. As long as they tell us the truth at some point, then that's okay. And,
yeah,
you can believe them then.
It's okay if they lie right now. They'll tell us the truth eventually.
Yeah.
I just thought of something. So the aliens, let's say that they're real, and I'm not denying or confirming, not that I can confirm it, but there could be aliens that visit, they fly around and whatever in flying saucers or crafts of some kind. Wouldn't those be like the equivalent of our NASA or our military? That'd be like the best of the aliens. So wherever
How do
these
you
guys
know?
come from,
Just regular Joe. Why can't it just be like the Jetsons where everyone's got jetpacks?
it could be, but what I'm thinking is those are like their explorers. So back home they're going to have like crackhead aliens
or tourists.
Yeah, they'll have all kinds.
They could be treating us. They could be treating us like it's a Westworld scenario. They just come play with us.
Or they're farming us.
Reverse zoo.
Maybe those people, those ovnis are the 1% of their place, and they're taking a tour, to this place. They have commercials of, like, hey, pay so much money, and we're gonna take you to this place and observe these idiots.
Yeah.
We may have, hey, you want to go smoke crack in an alley with a hooker? We can set that up for you.
Yeah.
Different kind of alien vacations. Could be. Who knows? Who knows what these things are? If they're has anybody on the panel ever had an experience with a UFO or alien or anything like that?
Not me personally. I don't believe them.
I think my mom did.
Your mom? Okay.
Just an ovni, not an alien. Ovni, like a light going across the sky so fast, like from one place to another.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my dad's had something like that back in the day.
And
yeah, I mean, I've seen shit up in the sky that was like a light that stayed there. It disappeared when I was younger, but I don't want to attribute that to aliens. To me, that's stupid. There might be people like old families, maybe. To me, that's the closest thing we got to alien is maybe some old wise, people that know more than we do. Probably have better technology passed down. In my opinion, but they'd be human. In my opinion, I certainly don't think nobody's coming from light years away planets and shit like that. That's ridiculous.
Alien, you're right. No, the way aliens are portrayed, no, but people from other realms or whatever you want to call it, sure, possibly.
Yeah, we've talked
seen
about
that
that
movie?
before too. It's possible, but they might look just like us. We've talked about the possibility that they're already here. Like they're among us. They look like us. Maybe they're not built like us. Maybe they last longer. Who knows? They're the ones running all this shit. The fake humans.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, man, to get certain technology. I mean, it's possible they have better technology and know how to live longer. You know,
What
so
if
they
we're the
see
fake
because
humans?
some of the moves they make, like some of the long games they play, it seems like. Why would they be
Yeah.
so worried about it when they're about to die in 10 years? You know, why would they worry about a 80-year long game? You know what I'm saying? If they got 5 more years to live or some shit.
Yeah, I always wonder about that too. Like 80-year-olds that are super greedy and like still working every day and trying to make billions of dollars. Like, why are you doing that, dude? I don't get it. Just go chill. You got enough money already. But
For my
people are
future,
driven by different things.
my children.
Well, then, no, a wise man was once asked, how much is enough? He said, just a little bit more. And they mean it's never
Government
enough.
more.
Once you get that money bug, you can't stop. And
Yeah.
he was a Mason. I didn't know he was a Mason until I went to his funeral and come and did a little ceremony and sang a song and shit in fucking skirts and shit. Man, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even know he was
Have you
in the club, but he was he just hit $1 billion and he jogged every day. He was real healthy and all that shit. But he they found in his bathroom. Well, no, I don't want to badmouth my grandpa, man, but he is a good man. But he couldn't stop working, man. He was in land developers here in Jacksonville, but he just worked. He just wanted more. You know, never really enjoyed it.
Your grandpa was a billionaire?
I think he just hit $1 billion, man. I didn't know he had that much money. We knew he had money, but I think he either just hit it or he was like right on the verge of getting it, man.
Wow.
But he was loaded, man. We didn't know he had that much money.
just like my grandpa, it's the same. He has a lot of land and stuff in Mexico. He never was able to enjoy. I mean, he's still alive, but he's too old to enjoy any of the stuff that he worked on. So now, I guess whenever he's gonna fight, I don't want to know about how the family is gonna fight over that shit.
Oh, that's always sad when that happens. When they start fighting
Yeah.
over or like the possessions. No, I get the couch. You know, that kind of stuff. It's like, it's so sad.
Hey, Brandon,
So
have you guys seen the movie
Hold on,
Hostel?
hey, what? I've been waiting.
Oh,
What if we're the fake humans, right?
You
Like
know,
not fake in
yeah.
a sense, but like the altered species, and the originals are the more blood, you know, the ones with the more original, you know, DNA structure, right? They might need to, you know, do something electronically every once in a while in order to maintain sort of that, you know, those strains in their DNA remain connected or whatever.
That would make
There's a
sense
movie
too.
about
That
something
we're
like that
we're
called
the fake
Extinction.
ones. That would tie a lot of the loose ends up nicely.
I think we're in a
Brandon,
Minecraft.
there's a
simulation.
movie out there already called Extinction that is pretty much is based on something like that. That the humans that occupy the land, they think they're original humans, and it turns out to be robots, and the invaders are the actual humans.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah, that was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, that was God dang, man, the movie with the girl from I can't think of that one. What you talking about? Where they had masks on and they had hold on, they put masks on to detect the aliens, but really they had them killing humans instead of, or they were killing the humans instead of
Oh yeah,
aliens.
I saw that. Damn, what was that called?
Like the next wave or the fifth wave or something like that.
That's it. Thank you, Bob. The fifth wave. That's it.
I wasn't talking about the fifth wave. I was talking about the movie Extinction, where it's like a Mexican guy that's the main character.
I love
Well, now we're
sci-fi,
gonna have to
man.
look
To
up.
this day, I
Yeah,
love
we didn't
space
watch the
movies
one
and
with
shit,
the
man.
Mexican guy, I guess.
Extinction.
have you guys
Now we're
seen the movie?
looking at movies.
Have you guys seen the movie Hostel,
I'm just
Brandon?
playing.
Which movie? Hostel?
Machete.
Uh huh.
You mean that horror flick?
Yeah, where they like kidnap the people and bring it to the reach and.
Oh yeah, that's a fucked up movie. Yeah.
I do believe that shit is real out there somewhere.
Oh, for sure, dude. There's some sicko. I mean, you can see that in the true crime stuff that they put out. Some of the sick shit people get caught doing. I'm 100% sure that shit goes on. Human smuggler meets billionaire who wants to, has those kind of appetites. If there's a market for it, if there's a demand for it, there is going to be someone out there willing to fill that demand. So I can only imagine the sick shit that's going on.
Kind of like
Do you
surviving.
think-
Do you think
on
that
top of that, there's going to be a campaign to normalize
Epstein
it through
Isla-
movies like
Isle?
Hunger Games and. I'm sorry. I feel like he's right. Like, there's also a campaign to normalize it so that it will one day be out in the open and legitimately okay.
Like
To
having
run
prisoners,
shows like doing- yeah.
like having
Purge
prisoners,
and shit like that. It's for
fight to the
budget,
death
for
or
good,
something for.
the betterment of mankind. That these, and there's a raffle where the winner gets a chance to go free or whatever.
What was that movie with Gerard Butler? I think was in it, or Russell Crowe. Those guys look alike. But remember, they used to control him as. I don't know. Anyways, let's get back on topic. We're talking about video games and movies and shit.
What's the topic? I forgot.
Well, it's more like it's.
I don't
more
know,
like
I wish
talking about
Trump-
future.
you
What
wanted
we're
to ask
really
him the
kind of
number of
touching on,
atoms.
Jeremy, was more
The
along the
topic
lines
is
of.
human deception.
Yeah, it's about.
I got more videos
Hold
of
on,
Rumpus. Sorry.
It's also about conditioning and what could happen in the future because of what we've seen happen in the past and stuff. It's really not just about minimalizing it to video games and movies, man.
I want to say I
If it
got
was
more
that, I
clips
wouldn't
of.
even be engaged.
Sorry, I thought you
really,
did.
I really wouldn't.
Oh, that's how the deception's happening through all the video games and movies. Go ahead.
Exactly. If there wasn't more to the conversation than just video games and movies, I wouldn't have been engaged at all. Jeremy, come on.
I know.
No, I wanted to say this real quick. I got more clips of. I just went back and I enjoy watching old Nathan Oakley and old Jose JG clips. I got more clips where I cut out Rumpus talking about how much is behind it just by drawing the line. Looking at the curve calculator and all this, talking about drawing lines to the horizon. I got so many of them, man. I'm just gonna compile them and try and get him to be honest and say that it's not going to kill him to admit that he used to draw straight lines to the horizon and judge how much object was looming by where the geometric horizon is supposed to be.
Well, they
Would it
still
kill
do
him
it.
to admit that?
You don't feel like that's a waste of time?
Ranty just did it at Blackpool, bro. They're still drawing their straight lines.
I like
They
Rumpus,
didn't stop.
man. I mean, he's aggravating and all that, but he's for something about him. I like watching him. Maybe I love to hate him or something, but I just want to see he's a humble man and just can admit that he used to draw straight, like that he used to judge how much items were looming by the geometric horizon. All he's got to do is admit that, show that he's a humble man.
A humble man, Rumpus, the guy that's always right, never wrong. That guy.
Right, that's what I mean. That you don't think that's a waste of time?
That ain't gonna happen.
That's what I mean.
That
by
ain't
that.
gonna
Like,
happen.
this guy's not gonna do any.
Well,
of
until
that.
he does, he's a fucking lying piece of shit, dude. So
Well,
I mean,
he
I
already
don't.
is that. We already got him there. Like that's his position in my book, anyway.
We're all wrong sometimes, man. Some of us more than others, man. We're growing, we're learning. It's an experience. It's life, man. Nobody has to know everything, and even the super geniuses, Rumpus. Yeah, you ain't always right, man. Just admit that you drew lines to the freaking object, looked at the curve calculator to see how much was looming, okay? And quit faking the funk, man. Quit bullshitting.
Brian,
Humble
they're
up,
still
man.
doing
Humble
it.
up.
Brian, they're still drawing those straight lines. They're still doing it. It's not like they stopped doing that.
Yeah, but no, the point is that he would tell you how much looming was going on, okay? By looking at the curve calculator, knowing the distance to the object, he could tell you how much it was looming.
They're still doing it. Yeah, man. They didn't stop.
No, they don't. They acknowledge that the horizon refracts. He even says that, but he acts like he acknowledged that the whole damn time. He didn't. At best, like I said, I got him in videos. I got him in videos. The mirage and all that. In other words, the infinity mirage was blocking the horizon, right? So I give him that. But him trying to tie that in with refraction, no. At best, he back in the day before the Black Swan, he was saying that the horizon was miraged. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't see it blocked by mirage. But I don't know, man.
I feel like if we're talking about this,
Good.
if we're talking about where the horizon is and drawing these straight lines, that we're talking about what they want to talk about. We're never gonna move on from it. But I get what you're saying.
So he's going to go off this one video with where, you know, right around the time of the Black Swan or something, you know, where he's talking about the horizon, you know, miraging and shit, attributing refraction to that. But as far as the straight lines and all that, man, I don't know. Roberts, if your ass is listening, man, just fess up, man. You used to try and claim how much objects were looming.
Listen, Brian,
due to distance.
They have a system where they can answer any question you throw at them. The problem is when you ask them to show it you what they're claiming to be true or what they claiming to be able to do. That's where the problem comes. Because if you ask any question, they can go to Google and they'll find the answer to anything you ask. To pretty much anything you ask. They've been working on this model for a lot of years. So obviously they
2,000 years or better.
This man was riding dinosaurs. They've been working on
it. well, the point is that they can answer any question. The problem is, can they demonstrate it? Right? That's what we want.
Yeah, but we've got them pinned down to where now we have to get them. Now they have to admit that LIGO, okay, is not level. They have to openly admit that LIGO is not level. They have to admit that objects on certain days are on the horizon.
Brian,
targets.
Brian,
they have to say targets are on the horizon.
Brian, they already said it's not level.
Right.
They already say that.
Listen, I'm going to give you a small list of absurd shit they have to say. They have to also say that that targets on the horizon on certain days are not really there. So save your ammo. They're not really there. Don't take a shot at it because they're not really there.
That's a good one. Yeah. How often is the Navy and Marines going to shoot at shit and they're like, no, that's not really there. Don't waste the ammo. Or are they wasting
that's the
ammo?
point.
Like, what's going on out there? Do they see something if they have a line of sight weapon, can they just see something and shoot at it, or are they doing refraction calculations on top of Coriolis calculations on top of wind speed?
Yeah, well, they also here's more, bro. There's more. They have to claim that there's a force that's not a force, okay, holding in the air because there's an infinite vacuum, a near perfect vacuum, infinite light years of distance all around us, and there's a thing called gravity that's a force but not a force holding in that air. I mean, the list goes on, man. I'm gonna make a video just like a list of bullshit they have to stand behind. Level is curved, guys. Level is curved.
I just realized that they cannot build anything straight, right? At this point, because if any level is pointing in perpendicular to the center of Earth, that means if you're building like a long ass pipe and you're using the water level on one point and then water level on the other point, those things are pointing to the center of Earth, so therefore they cannot have a straight a straight pipe. Right?
A straight line is a bowl to them. To them, a straight line, you take a big gradual lake that's like 10 miles long, that's 66 foot deep in the middle, or let's just say 30 foot deep. To them, that bowl that the water sits in is a straight line. So their straight lines are bowls. So the water is bending, and the bowl that the water sits on is a flat line. It's fucking insanity, dude.
It is pretty silly.
So they got no straight things.
Well, they claim they got straight things. LIGO is one of them.
They cannot, because if they measure one on one point to keep that level is always perpendicular to the center of Earth. So how can they
claim LIGO is not though. They don't claim LIGO to be 90 degrees from perpendicular everywhere.
Yeah, but they won't
What do you-
tell me they will not tell me the tangent. They can't. And I tell them, they're like, why would you need to know the tangent? Okay, because
Like
there can
90
only be
degrees.
one tangent on a circle. Okay, I mean
Right,
on a
but they
sphere,
don't
there
say
can
that
only be
it's.
one spot that it touches Earth. So there can only be
Hold
one
on, I missed.
spot that LIGO with its two arms touch Earth. Okay, so I need to know if I'm going to figure it out. Is the tangent at the conjunction of the two arms? Is it in the middle of one of the arms? But there can only be one spot that touches the Earth. Level.
I misspoke. I misspoke. I meant to say 90 degrees from the water level. You know, they don't say LIGO's that. They say it's going flat all the way. They make a horizontal 90 degrees in the middle, and then they go straight off either end, I believe. That's how they said they made it.
So no, yeah, but they couldn't tell me where the tangent is. Okay, and it matters. Okay, so what I'm telling them is take a water level up next to LIGO. LIGO is a straight line. Okay, so if you take the water level and at the very beginning of the 2 mile arm, let's just say one arm, if it's at 0, and then you got two other parts of the water level in the middle, it's 8 inches, which is a mile away, and it's 32 inches. Okay, so now if so you got a water level sitting there next to LIGO, and it's 8 inches down from LIGO at the middle junction. Okay, and then at the end it's 32 inches down. So there's a 24-inch gap between B and C, and an 8-inch gap between A and B. They say we can measure that, right? We can you can look off in the distance and measure down that it's not elevation, it's Earth curve, 8 inches per mile squared, or close to it. So I can leave that water level there. Then I go and look at the water level, and I look 1 mile from B and C, and it's 24 inches instead of 8 inches, like the leg between A and B.
We got a super chat. It came from Earth is Life. I always almost say Earth is flat when I read that, but thank you, B-Ball. US $5. Yes, Brian. In surveying, level is a curved line. Look it up.
There you go. I can look up anything I want. If you think level means curved, I think I'm the first one. I made a video out of it too. That where Rumpus, I made him say level is curved is flat. Flat means curved. So I made him take it a whole step further with just a few questions where he had to admit that flat is curved. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you flat means curved. Rumpus, 2020.
Look it up, Brian. Look it up.
Yeah, that was last year. But dude, check this out though. So here's the point.
What
the
other
point
facts are out there on the internet that we can look up? All we got to do is look it up. Give me something ridiculous.
Here's the point, Brandon.
Let's
point
see.
is,
only 144,000 people are going to go to heaven. Look it up.
See, Brandon. Again, how about they show us a straight curving line?
Here's the point, though, man. They can say that, man.
We've never seen it. That's a good point,
bro. They can say things are curving down at whatever rate they want up optically, but if you put a water level there and it's 0 at the beginning and 8 inches at the first mile and 32 inches at the second mile, then the water level is going to show that, right? The water level is going to show that. You can leave it sitting there. And that ain't going to make sense, man, because that's a different amount. This ain't just like optics. This is a actual object sitting there, should be measured next to the fucking water level. It's problems, if you ask me.
No, I know. It would be fantastic to have someone go out there and measure LIGO. Actually, I was talking about it with George, and we were wondering if we could get access in there and what we would have to do. I haven't had time to really sit down and think about it or plan it out. I got all kinds of other shit going on, but that's what we need somebody to do, is to figure out how to get in there. Cause they have public tours evidently, and get permission to, do some measurements.
It's pointless though. Well, it ain't pointless. It ain't pointless, but I need to know where the tangent is. If they won't tell me where the tangent is, then they're just going to come with excuses. They're going to say, well, they started in the demonstration I just gave. They're going to say that the tangent's in the middle of the one arm, you know, when I'm describing it to try and get out of it. And but still, I say that okay. So why am I looking off one way, 1 mile, and seeing 16 inches? And I mean 30 or let's say
No,
24.
I think you're wrong, Brian. I don't think it matters where the tangent is. I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter. Listen,
Yeah,
first of all,
it most certainly does.
how do you even know? Hold on, Brian. First of all, how do you even know the thing's straight? They claim that it's straight, and they're doing this amazing thing inside with measuring 1/10,000th the width of a proton. How do you know any of that's true? That it's straight?
Yeah.
How would we know it's straight in the first place to go use it as a reference to measure it against water?
Right.
I mean, that would definitely
It'd be very easy to prove or disprove. We could end this debate if they let me on for one day.
That would definitely be something if LIGO matched the water, then we'd have something. That'd be great because then they'd be fucked.
Yeah, but it's got to mismatch the water a certain way, okay? Because if you say that, okay, the tangent matters big time because if the tangent is at the where the junction of the two arms, so then we're just going to use one arm and we're going to go in 8 inches. It'll be 8 inches down from the water, okay? We can put a water level right there in between the canal and LIGO, which is down at the first mile. It's going to be 32 inches down at the second mile, okay? Now, that's not going to hold true if the tangent is in the middle of those arms. And you can only have one tangent, no matter how high you go. You can level it off if you raise it in the air, but the point is there can only be one tangent because the other arm is curving. It won't match because it's also curving on the y-axis, man. It's hard to think about, but once you do, it's a clusterfuck, dude.
Are you saying that let's say you
tangent.
Hold on, Brian. Let's say you assume okay, it's straight, the water level straight. You're gonna have the same measurement anywhere down it. It could be crooked, so one side will be lower and one side will be higher, as opposed to on a curved earth, depending on where they say the tangent is. You're saying that those two would overlap? Like you could come out with a measurements that were that wouldn't exclude one or the other model depending on where the tangent is?
Well, okay. So in your head, you're thinking if they use the middle of the arm, they could use the middle of the other arm and the middle of that arm as the same tangent. You see what I'm saying? In your head, that makes sense when you think about it. Like the middle of each arm would be the tangent, but the point is
I don't understand
it's
what
curving to the left also.
What are the multiple arms you're talking about?
It's an L, right? It's an L.
Yeah, but we only need to measure one length of it. We don't have to worry about the other arm.
Claim the tangent in the middle. They could claim the tangent in the middle. If we could measure it, yeah, that'd be a problem. But I'm just trying to get around any potential slickery. If we were able to measure it, but they give me one day out there I'll bring everything I got, and and send a couple ballers, send me and a few people of my choice. One day, I don't need to go inside the place. I just need to see the bottom of the tunnel. I need access to the bottom of the tunnel visually. That's it.
Well, the methodology is visually. Wait a minute. The methodology for doing the measurement is going to have to be agreed to ahead of time. You got to plan it out before you even go there. You make sure everybody's on board with it. That makes sense. Because otherwise the results will just be disputed and the methodology used.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right. I would have a water level.
Brian, hold on a second. It's only 50 feet from the. It's only like 50 or 100 feet from the canal, right?
That's what I thought it
Couldn't we
looked
just
like in
use
the picture. I didn't measure it though. Did you measure it at all?
I heard it's very close. Couldn't we just use a water level, or would that?
No, we're gonna dig one. We're gonna dig one closer, Jeremy. We're not lazy.
We're not digging a tunnel in this. No, this is not that thing.
Okay,
I mean,
so you're saying could we use a water level, like one end of it hold up to the top of the LIGO concrete arm, take the other length of it and hold it up above the water and measure the distance between the water and the canal? The water in the canal?
Okay, you have pretend you have two water levels. You wouldn't need it two, but pretend you have two water levels. You put one end one water level. You put one end at the water and the other end at one end of LIGO, and then you do the same thing on the other one, right? And you do it in the middle, so you need 3. But then you got 3 water levels. If you do it in all 3 of those spots, and it matches up level everywhere on the thing, then it's level. You wouldn't need to do it optically. You could do this with a water level one.
Could it be
That's
that
a good
simple?
point.
Let
So
me
if the
think.
water was curving, then LIGO would have to be curving. That's a good point.
It wouldn't match up somewhere. It doesn't matter where the tangent is or anything. It wouldn't match. There would be a spot on it where it wouldn't match up. You'd be like, oh shit, it's not level. It's not level according to the water in this one spot.
Yeah, but this is the point, Jeremy. Jeremy, you're missing something. As long as
that just still doesn't
hold
mean
on.
that LIGO straight. And now if it matched the water, that'd be a problem for them. You know?
Right. If it matched the water, but still, it could mismatch the water and still work. That's why I need to measure it, because it doesn't have to be level. As long as they're straight arms, then the lasers and their protons on it should still work. It could be pointing straight up and then the arm pointing over. It would still work as long as there's a straight shot. So that's good thinking there, Jeremy. Really.
Yeah, if you match all 3 points up, the either end in the middle with a water level, I mean, that should tell you, if it matches the water, they're fucked. If it doesn't match the water, maybe LIGO's not straight.
My prediction is it won't match the water, but even if it didn't, it'll be it won't match the other arm as far as, I don't know. I just, my prediction is that it'll match the water. Google Earth, who was that who showed Google Earth showing that it showed the same straight line as the water? That was genius.
Brian Mabbitt, but then they just claimed that he didn't know how to read an elevation profile on Google Earth.
All right, let's walk through this for a minute though, because I'm just wondering if it's really that simple. So
it is.
So let's see. You've got the water, and I'll just make this this is the canal, right? And this is a side view, like a cross section view. Okay, so here's the canal, and here is the LIGO concrete arm, and we're pretending that the canal is flat in this one. So you would take a water level. Right.
Pretend you have 3 water levels for this example.
Hold on. Yeah. I got it. All right. So you take the water level and you'd have you'd hold the top of the water level is the top of the water in the water level tool. Okay. So you'd hold that side up there, and then the water level would be kind of carried over here, right? Just turn, you bastard. Just want to make this crooked so it makes sense. So you do this, and then you would do what with this end? Just hold it up like this, right? So if it matches there, you go over, have the other one above the water, and you would measure the distance from the canal water to the water level. So this right here.
You'd put a water level
right here, right? You'd measure this. Can you see my screen?
You measure that, yep, above it. You'd have the water level. The top of the water level would be at that top of that red line there, and you'd measure it from the surface to the top of the water level, yep.
Yep, okay, so you do that here. And let's say we repeat that here in the middle.
They would all have to be the same.
Down here.
Water's flat and LIGO is flat. They would all have to be the same distance, those green arrows.
The green arrows would have to be the same distance. No, not necessarily.
Here's the problem, Brandon.
That's not necessarily.
Hold on, Brian.
So if this is, let's say that this is flat and level. If the LIGO arm is flat and level, they'd all be the same distance. But if it was crooked, if LIGO was bent like this, then you'd get different measurements, right? But you'd get a higher one on one end and a lower one on the other end.
They could have built LIGO anyway. It could be higher in the, hold on, Brian. It could have been higher in the middle or higher on either end. It doesn't matter. The only way we have something is if it matches up exactly.
I can save y'all a little time.
No. That's what I'm
here.
trying to figure out. I don't know if that's necessarily true. That's what I'm trying to walk through with
If
you
they all
guys here.
match
So
up,
just give me a minute.
listen.
Let's just walk through it together. And
Okay, let's walk through this. If they told me the Earth was curved and to go build Lego, go build a concrete, that's what I do for a living. I do foundations. I've done seawalls, all the shit. If they told me that, they'd have to give me a benchmark to start. Okay, so if I thought and they told me to figure in the Earth curve, all that wouldn't work. They just have to give me a benchmark, and then I would make sure that from wherever I went from that benchmark was level with that benchmark. Okay, so yeah, he's right. If we measure it to the water, even if it doesn't line up, that doesn't mean that oh, go ahead.
Oh, let's just walk through this. Okay, maybe you guys are right, but let's walk through it because you guys are like jumping to conclusion. It feels like here. I just want to walk through this. So if the Earth is curved, let's say this is flat. All right, or flat and straight. Okay, so it's straight, and the tangent's in the middle. Is that what the point is called, where a tangent meets the circle? What's the point of that name? What's the name of that point? There's a name.
Tangent. The tangent.
That is the tangent.
I thought the tangent was the line. The tangent's the
No,
line, isn't it? It's the tangent point.
Tangent point and a tangent line.
All right, so it's the tangent point. All right, so the tangent point is in the middle in this case, meaning there should be equal amount of drop on either end of LIGO. So this one would be higher. This one would be higher when you measure it against the water level. And this one would be lower, right? Higher, lower.
It depends on where they... If the tangent's in the middle, hold on.
That's where the other arm comes into play too, because it would be higher, and also it would not only be higher than let's say the junction is the tangent, then you could have a drop or a rise, and it could still work. But
it'd be lower in the middle.
There'd also be a drop to the other line. You see what I'm saying?
There'd be
lower in the middle.
There'd be less of a distance in the middle.
Both ends would be higher than the middle if the tangent point's in the middle. If the tangent point was on one end, like let's say it's on the right side, you'd have lower, bigger, which you could have with this one down here too. If they angled this thing like this, like one side was low, you'd have lower, bigger. You'd have that pattern.
It'd be blatantly obvious if this thing was, if the water was curved. If LIGO is straight, I mean, we're working off the presumption that LIGO is straight. It'd be obvious if the water was curving with just a simple water level.
I think we could calculate it, but I was just kind of trying to see if there's a pattern that would falsify one or the other. And if the tangent point's in the middle, there's an obvious one.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter where the tangent point is. If we're going off the assumption that LIGO is straight, then it's going to be obvious. It won't match the water. If the water's curving. If the water's flat, it'll match. There'll be an equal amount of equal height, regardless of where the tangent is. No.
If LIGO is level. They say LIGO's not level.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know if LIGO's level?
I don't. I thought we were working off the assumption that it was level and horizontal at some point.
It could be off level and still be a straight line and still work. That's what I'm saying. I know the deception. That's why they need to let me on, not some just doohickey Jacob Joe Bob motherfucker.
But you agree we wouldn't need to do it optically. We could do it with a water
level. A straight line level. Yeah, they let me on.
Would you agree? Listen, Hunt for Red October. Would you agree that we could do it with a water level and not optically?
I think we could do it with a water level. Yeah, it's just a matter of I'm trying to figure out if both models would give us the same measurement, if we'd be able to differentiate between the two. I think so.
You could
I'm
from
not
beginning to
sure.
end, but not in the middle, Brandon. Brandon, each arm you could fake it from beginning to end on each arm, but the middle is the light. Show me the light. It's in the middle. They could not fake the fucking middle. There'd be that's where the story's told, in the middle of the arms, both arms.
If the tangent point is on one end, right? If that's what they say, the tangent point's in the middle, and the arm, the drop increases as you go out to the end of the 4 kilometers. You're going to have the tangent point is obviously going to be closest. The middle of the thing as you go out towards the end of the tangent arm is going to be a wider gap, and the end is even going to be a wider gap. You'd have the same thing if it was tilted on a flat Earth.
Exactly.
And you'd have the same exact thing, right? And they'd both be on level.
Right, but the middle of them two wouldn't line up.
Gap pattern as you go from one end to the other. So there's a possibility that we might not be able to differentiate. It needs more analysis, but
I'll tell you right now.
One thing, bro.
I'll tell you right now.
The y-axis is also dropping. You can't think about just the x-axis. Okay, the y-axis. So the middle of each arm won't match. If the tangent's at the junction, then the y-axis is also falling. So the middle of each arm would be not lined up. So that's where the truth would be, in the middle of each arm, comparing the two middles together. If the ends were straight.
The point is, if we went out there and put the water level up to both ends in the middle, and it matched, they're fucked.
Yeah, that would falsify the globe. Yep.
Or LIGO.
Yeah, that would falsify.
They would just say No, they would just say LIGO's not straight after that. You think they would You think they would give up the globe or LIGO? You think they would give up the globe or LIGO?
No, I mean they'd give up LIGO, but it'd be pretty hard. They'd have to. The onus would be on them at that point too. They'd be on the defensive for sure. I mean, at that point, I'd feel like, okay, I think they've got to prove to us that this is an anomaly at this point. But
as long as they started with one benchmark, bro, the contractor, I hold nothing. If the contractor is listening, I hold nothing against you, because all you got was one benchmark. Every big project starts with a benchmark, and then you went from that and you made sure everything was level from that point. So you didn't have to use water levels all the way down. You made 2 horizontal arms. Now they can say in their rhetoric that it's level, so it's curving like the water is, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be a straight shot, so I don't hold the contractor responsible. Whether the earth is flat or curved, he would have still built it where they worked fine.
Yeah, but we don't know where they say the tangent point is, right? No one knows.
They don't even know where the tangent point is. That's the whole problem. They're like, why would you need to know the tangent? Because it can touch one spot on a ball.
It's got to be somewhere, though. It's got to be somewhere in their drawings or something.
I don't think it matters where the tangent is, because you would still be able to calculate it after you put the water level up to it. You would say, oh, it's an inch higher on this side, 3 inches higher on this side, or whatever.
Well, what they would do,
would be calculable.
They would just use
Brandon?
See, look, so they'd say GPS and it'd come out level. They'd say, see, look, it's level, it's curving, see? So we just put GPS on it, and it's level, so obviously it's curving. That's how they think, our adversary. But if they let us on site to check it ourselves, we can figure it out. There's no way, Brandon, your answer to that question, they cannot hide it. They could do a good job and put the tangent in the middle of one of the arms, but still, give me the whole day. I'll find out.
Hold on a second. It doesn't matter where the tangent is. Hold on. If you took the water levels out there, right? You got the water levels out there.
Hang on,
and you measure it.
Tangent. You're begging the question right off the rip.
We know.
Yeah, we don't care about the question. We're just fucking talking. But you're right.
If you went out there and it would have to be a very specific amount, and it would be calculable after that. After you took the measurements.
Can we measure to that amount? How far is it after? How much drop is there in 4 kilometers, 2.5 miles? So there's like, we're talking about
It's almost 5 feet. It's about 4.5 feet. Yep.
4.5, 5 feet. I think it's going to be pretty close though. See, here's the situation that I'm worried about is if the tangent is at the end of the arm, the tangent point's at the end of the arm, it's going to be pretty fucking close to the same, depending on how they built it. Because do you understand what I'm saying, Jeremy? In one, it's going to be dropped.
Oh, no. Listen, if you go out there, if they put the tangent on the end, hold on,
what
Brian,
you're saying is
Jesus
each end.
Christ.
Hold on, dude. What he's saying is each end would meet if you build it at the end of one, but the two middles would not match up. Okay, and they'd have to for it to be straight. If the ends met level, the middles couldn't be level with each other because they're off on the x-axis and the y-axis. Brandon, you see what I'm saying? They're mismatched from each other straight away and left to right.
No, because I'm talking about just one arm. I have yet to wrap my head around how the second arm plays into this, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just talking about one arm. So this top is on the curved earth. This bottom is on a flat earth. On a flat earth, that if their tangent point is down here, they could have just tilted this thing up because it's supposed to be on level. They tilted it up, and you'd still have a gap, a widening gap from the end to the other end. So you could have 6 feet out here and 0 right here, and it'd just tilt up. So it'd be similar here. It'd be 0 here, and due to drop, you'd have 5 feet or whatever down here. You'd have the same pattern. So what is the difference? If you tried to calculate it, what is the difference and what is the margin of error between?
There's nothing that was there to calculate.
That's what I led with, Brandon. Because
exact thing going on in both
the water level, though.
Brian, Jesus Christ,
bro, you're not even in the ball game right now. Just give me a second. And that's why I led with the. Hold on, bro. I didn't mean that. Just hold on. What I meant. This is what I led with is that the water level. Wait, hold on, bro. Just listen, man. That's why I led with the water level would be an 8-inch drop at the first mile and a 32-inch drop at the second mile. And there's no way you could make that a straight line. So, Jeremy, you're right to begin with. The water level would tell the tale. You could angle it one way or another. That's why I said the contractors.
Are you looking at Brian's screen? Are you looking at Brandon's screen right now? If the tangents on the end,
was talking about angling it to begin with. That's why I'm not holding the contractor responsible, because if they gave him a benchmark, he could angle it one way or another.
Why are you talking about the contractor? You're not even in the game right now. Listen, if the tangent's on the end, we won't know either way because there's still going to be a gap. There's going to be a gap there, even on a flat Earth. Are you looking at Brandon's screen right now?
Yeah, but his screen has a straight line from the tangent to the end. Water level is going to 8-inch drop from the water at the first mile and a 32-inch drop at the second mile. So that drawing is not completely accurate. It's reality. It's how it would be done if a contractor was to build it. He'd start with a benchmark and just go level from that.
No, Brian, you're missing it, man. You're missing the point.
All right, let me look at it for a minute.
Yeah, look at it for a minute.
Shit, bro. You're not even in the game, bro. Come on, Brian.
Here's the tangent
So
point.
you think an 8-inch drop and then a 32-inch drop could be made into a straight line?
That's true. It would have to be exponential.
It would, but is it within the margin of error that we're talking about that we'll be able to measure? Are we going to be able to really realistically measure that kind of a difference? Because we'd be talking
easily.
Well, this one's gonna this one's gonna go from 0. Let's say that the tangent point on the end is touching the ground, right? This one's gonna go from 0 to 5 feet down here. This one's gonna go from 0 to 5 feet down here on this model. So if you're telling me in between here, there's going to be such a difference at some point along this. I know it's exponential, that we'll be able to differentiate between these two. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, that was my whole point in bringing up the fucking water level to begin with. Is the first mile is going to be 8 inches of drop. If you put a water level right next to the foundation, then you're going to have 8 inches down in the middle. Okay, if you start at the end, the 8 inches down from the concrete in their model, the water's going to be 8 inches down in the middle, and then it's going to be 32 inches down at 2 miles.
Yeah.
Why can't we get a Glober? Was Kosho in here? Where's the fucking tangent on LIGO?
Hold on. So I get what you're saying. So after the first mile on this thing, on the ball model, it'll be 8 inches. There'll be an 8-inch difference between this one and the tangent point at the start. After the second mile, there'll be a 32-inch difference between the start and the second mile measurement, right? So
Yeah.
it'll go 8.
Yeah, that's a 16-inch difference.
32.
Really, it's
right?
24, but if you take away the 8, then it turns into 16-inch difference.
Well, we already know that it's angled upwards. I don't know what else
832,
you want us to
so
tell you.
okay. Anyway, so I'll finish what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you know
So
what?
832. So here's 0, and then after the first mile, it's going to be equal. So if this goes up to, I wish it was 3 miles long, it'd make things so much easier. After the first mile, 1, 2, 3. Let's just make this thing 3 miles long. So at the end, it'll be 6 feet. After the first mile, it'll be whatever 6. What's 6 divided by 3? 2. 2 feet, and then 4 feet, right?
I think Brian's right on this, Brandon. Brandon, hold on. I think Brian's right, because how are you going to get an exponential drop from 2 straight lines?
That's
if
what
the
I'm,
water's
that's
straight
what
and
I'm,
LIGO's straight.
That's what I'm talking about right now.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying
You're not
right
gonna
now.
get an exponential.
My
So
bad.
this would be exponential. It'd be 832. First mile, 8 inches. Second mile, 32 inches if we measured at those points. This one down here would be first mile, 2 feet. Second mile, 4 feet. So it'd be 24, 48.
And then
48
feet.
versus 32. Yeah, at the ends. Yeah. The ends will be the same, though. The ends will be the same.
Yeah, you can't get
But now
an
the y-axis
exponential.
between the arms. That's where the hidden trick would be, between the arms. Because
Yes, you'd have
have
to
the X
judge.
Can't get
and the
an
Y.
You wouldn't be able to get an exponential drop out of 2 straight lines, right?
No.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. That's why the measurements would be
Right.
different, Jeremy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Brian. Nice work on that, Leaky. Yeah, so we would be able to tell no matter where the tangent is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're right, because 8
was a-
versus 24. I mean, that's quite a gap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's measurable because you got the water level, so there's no optics involved. So you can't say, nobody's going to be crying like a little bitch and saying refraction after.
Oh, you got to get a measuring device up on there, dude. I don't think they're gonna let you near it.
Fuck that. We're bringing water
They're not gonna.
levels too,
So
man.
what would be so sensitive with this long concrete slab and a canal that we couldn't carry a fucking water level and a tape measure out there?
I'm just saying, I don't know if they will
happen?
let you fuck with it. And they're just gonna let you climb all over it.
I don't
After
think we have
hearing
to
this, they
climb
better
it.
not let us.
Why would we have to climb it?
After hearing what we just figured out.
Why would we
it's a
need to
good little
climb it? How tall
experiment.
is the thing? How
I don't
tall is
know.
it?
I don't remember.
I've seen people stand next to it. I don't think we'd have to like get on top of it or anything. Or we could bring a fucking ladder, a step ladder.
No, I've got. Yeah, we just need ladders, and I wouldn't waste much time bringing optical devices or auto levels, because if I shot it, they just say, yeah, well, you were curving your way around the ball. That's why I would absolutely we'd bring the water levels and the auto level and my lasers for that.
Yeah,
For that,
if they don't let you right up on it, it might be a good idea to have an auto level or a laser or something there, so you could just carry it over a couple feet. I mean, how close can you even get to it?
Wouldn't,
You could bring the water.
Isn't that thing able to perceive like gravitational waves and shit like that?
Yes.
That's what it does. And
Well,
I'll go ahead and
measuring
Supposedly.
1/10,000.
They can use. Let me finish.
Hold
They
on.
can use the excuse that if you are around that shit, you're gonna disturb their experiments and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they have
They're
public
measuring
tours. They have
1/10,000.
public tours, guys. They let
Yeah, it
people out
doesn't
there.
rely. It doesn't rely on disturbances because that's why they have multiple ones in the world. to go after.
Kosho, where's the tangent?
Co-witnessing. I don't know
Kosho,
where the
where's the
tangent is.
tangent?
But I don't know where it is.
How
But I'll show
how
up
close
with
can we
the.
get?
Nobody
Hold on, I got
does. They looked up the plans and all that. They
Hold on.
said the contractors and looked up all the paperwork. Nobody could tell me the tangent.
How close can I get to the outside of this fucking tube you guys are always bitching about?
I bet you can get pretty close. Probably closer if you get permission. But regardless,
Can I touch it?
Yeah, maybe. I'll show up with the RTK, the GPS RTK, for co-witnessing.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want with a GPS out there, or we're talking about a physical measurement, but why not do the GPS at the same time?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bring everything you got.
No, we're talking about the same thing, believe it or not. You guys are talking about using a straight line made by a water level, measuring to see if it's a straight line or if it's level. And
we know for a fact it's not
I'm
level
talking
to the
about
ground.
bringing a straight line metric, the GPS RTK.
Yeah, that's
So
not the same thing. See, we're not talking about the same thing.
Well, we already know for a fact that it's not level to the ground.
Hey, Kosho, do you know why they can't Kosho, you know why they can't tell me the tangent? The reason nobody can give me a tangent, and they've looked everywhere for it, is because there isn't one. Because the Earth is flat.
Are you sure it's not because they don't have the blueprints?
It's because there is no tangent.
Well,
I'm sure if you talk to people who constructed it, they know, or maybe the people who work there. But you talk to strangers online, there's that chance that they're gonna know.
Yeah, I don't have.
There's got to be a ball for there to be a tangent. There's got to be a ball. And
do you even know what a fucking tangent is?
Give it a mark.
Yeah, explain to me what a tangent is.
Everything level from it.
The accountant.
Brian,
Is this the accountant?
Brian,
Here we go with the definition.
Yeah, Brian, what's a tangent?
It's where a line touches a ball. It's the point that the line touches.
Ask him to tell you what a straight line is.
Ball.
Yes.
So
how many tangents? Hey, how many spots can touch the ball? If LIGO is an L, how many tangents can there be on that L?
Well, it looks like LIGO, right? Has 3 tubes that run to it, so it has one central tangent.
Oh, it does it. Is so that the tangent point is in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that?
Look at the dimensions of
let's see your fucking source for that.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this aerial view, and you can easily tell it kind of angles upwards.
Is this the same guy from
fuck your aerial view.
Yeah.
Listen, fuck your aerial view. Go get us the fucking blueprints or some shit. Something that tells us where it is, not what you fucking see in a picture. We're tired of pictures.
I know you guys don't like pictures, then you guys do like pictures, and you don't like pictures.
See, we're trying not to make an assumption. Do you understand how the least amount of assumptions we have, the more confidence we can have in something? Do you understand that?
This isn't an assumption when you have a picture proving it, dipshit.
You can tell where the tangent point is on LIGO by an aerial view picture.
Great. So if we have a picture of Darth Vader, it's not an assumption.
Yeah.
Hold on, let him answer the question. You can tell where the fucking tangent point is by an aerial view photograph of it.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can. You can see the big old trench they had to dig for the motherfucker and how it pops out at the very
end. Really? So you know the
fucking retarded.
Yeah, but that trench could easily be based on. Yeah, that trench could be based on
built it in the side of a fucking hill,
terrain
dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. There's different terrain there, and I don't think it is quite obvious to know where that tangent is.
Why do we need to know where the tangent is?
I don't know. I don't think we do.
Because there'd have to be, if we're on a ball, there'd have to be a tangent. Okay? We don't think there's a tangent. We don't think we're living on a ball.
So actually, it would be hard to find the tangent.
Let Howard talk. We don't want to
like
that shit.
Yeah, so it would actually be kind of hard.
Now it's hard to. What? Hold on.
Hold on.
You were saying
you shut up.
You were able to see the tangent from the aerial view.
All right, hold on. Let him explain.
It would actually be kind of hard to find the tangent point, given that part of it is underground. You fucking idiot. Meaning that the end point of it is not going to be the tangent.
Didn't he?
Oh, so hey, smart guy, you just told us that we can tell where the tangent point is by an aerial photograph, and now whoa, it's dawning on you that it's not that easy.
So not only is he a dipshit, he's a lying dipshit.
No, so you can tell where it leaves the ground, right? Where it is officially like above the ground, right? So I would imagine that the tangent would be between where it is under the ground and where it is now over the ground.
That's nice.
So we're not
stop
using
talking. Hold on,
imagination
guys.
here, Brad.
Don't
Take
buy
your
into his
imagination and
shit.
shove off.
Brian, don't
I
buy
would
into his
love
shit.
it if
Guys,
a
listen to
globe
me
could
very
prove the globe
carefully.
without using
Don't
their
buy into this
imagination.
guy's shit and let him take us down this path. If you don't shut the
Can you hear
fuck
me
up,
now?
I'm gonna mute you because you're saying stupid shit. We're trying to figure out how to do this experiment. If you don't want to fucking help us with that, shut the fuck up.
All you gotta do is take a tape measure. You already got it the first time, dude. If you can find that the difference in the height is exponential between it and the ground, and be able to prove that the elevation between those points is constant, then boom, you got us.
Yeah, that's the
But
problem.
it's gonna be. Yeah, I know. The issue is
there's a hill there.
Yeah, the issue is there's a hill there. There's also most of it is in a trench, so you got to get the
So would
dimensions for the trench.
No, hold on. None of
You
that
said we got
matters
us. Do you
when
mean
we're
LIGO or
talking
bar?
about.
Which do we got?
God damn it!
A water
Brian, hold
level
on.
doesn't care
That
if
doesn't
there's
matter.
a
None of that
elevation
matters.
change above or below it.
None of that matters. We're talking about measuring with a water level from the top of it to the canal water level. That's all we're talking about. It doesn't matter if it's in a hole.
Hey, Brandon, may I
It
ask
doesn't
you
matter if it's
something?
dug through a hill. It doesn't matter if it's tilted. We're trying to figure
We're
out
going to be able to see
whatever
the
way it
thing.
is, if we can differentiate between the two models.
You're gonna have to be able to see the damn thing in the
Random.
first place.
May I ask you something? What is the claim of that thing? Is claiming that it's straight or is it curved?
Well, the top of the tube showing the whole way across, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be able to get to the top of the
They
tube the whole
claim it's
way.
not
and-
level. They claim it's a straight, but it's not level.
Yeah, it's straight. It's not level. You can clearly tell from the pictures.
It's
No, you can't,
horizontal.
Dick. Shit, we just fucking went through that,
You guys are
idiot.
buying into his bullshit.
Listen, all you have to do is bring a water level, put it on top of that shit. A water level that tells you even 1/4 of a degree. And you put it on top of that shit, and you will see which parts are level and which parts
I
are
would
not.
recommend
That's
bringing
really
something a
simple.
little
Brandon,
bit more
I
accurate than a
posted a
water
picture
level
in
or
general.
bubble level.
There's no such thing as more accurate as a water level that
hang
can
on,
tell you
please.
Yes, there
1/4.
is.
Yeah,
The water level is the most accurate
Guys,
tool,
he
and they
thinks a
even have
water level is a
micrometers
bubble
for
level.
it.
This guy thinks a
Yeah,
water
he's
level
an
is
idiot.
something you buy at Home Depot.
Hold on,
and
guys.
it's a
It's
stick
spiraling.
with
You
an air
guys
bubble.
are. He put a little bit of chum out there, and you guys are just fucking eating it all up.
Yeah, but listen to him. He thinks a water level is a spirit level. This guy's a.
He's a fucking
I'll
accountant. He
eat
doesn't
after
know
that.
what's going on.
Yeah,
He's
you
a
get yourself
fucking
an electronic
accountant.
level, dude.
Yeah.
Listen, we need.
Anyway.
And a little bit more accurate.
So,
An electronic
I think
level.
we
What's, hey,
have-
wait. What's an electronic level, dude?
Ask a good question.
Brian.
Everybody just dismiss it. Whatever.
Ignore that
Brandon, I've been
guy.
trying
I'll
to
back
get
off,
this.
Brandon. My bad. I'll back off, bub.
Just fucking let him say stupid shit. Don't feed into his
Right.
fucking
Oh,
shit.
You know, it's not stupid shit. I just laugh. You guys are like, oh, let me go out there with a water level or a spirit
give me
level.
2 seconds,
They got
please.
fucking accurate like electronic levels.
Yeah. Can you give me 2 seconds? I
Yeah, go
posted a
for it.
picture. I posted a picture in general of a water level micrometer. Do you know what a
They use-
micrometer is?
They use water levels on a jet? Really?
No, it's a water. Look in
Where
the
is it,
general. I'll
Rob?
repost
Where's
it,
the
please.
picture of the water level micrometer?
Yeah, I'll repost it again right now in general.
That's an actual thing. That's fucking awesome.
Okay, I think I see
That's
it.
pretty fucking accurate.
All right, let's see what does this thing do? Rob.
It's for a water level. They are water levels.
Okay, but what does
Yeah,
what does the
communicating
micrometer
vessels.
do? What is
Yeah, you-
what
you
does it
get-
do?
You
Explain
can
what it is.
measure
Accuracy.
It's accurate to less than a millimeter.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have a micrometer, a regular micrometer.
What do they use them for?
Well, micrometer is a million.
Accurate
leveling. It's a level for establishing a horizontal plane of reference.
What is the micrometer point?
Rob, you've been waiting all week for someone to ask you that.
What's the micrometer part of it? You're saying a micrometer? That's the instrument with increments.
Yeah, that's the measuring part. The part that does the measuring,
Accuracy.
not calculating. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be precise? You use this.
You know, you want to measure something, you can pull out a tape measure, or you can get more accurate and pull out a micrometer. Right? Left lane?
Yeah, that's
Here,
what
I'll
I'm
tell you
talking
what it
about.
does.
It's to measure. It's to
I'll read
measure
it.
with. There are increments on it.
Let me tell you what it
Millions
does.
of
The
them.
water level is used with great advantage for leveling at big distances in machine construction or when erecting lines of shafting or other work with widely separate bearings. Let's see. That seems like a general statement. I thought that had something to do with this. For measurement of high precision, a micro feeler fitted with an adjustable feeler needle is used. So yeah, it just improves the accuracy, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't see enough of this to tell exactly how it does that, but
yeah, that answered my question. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah.
It's for accuracy. That's how you make something straight, very accurately straight.
So
I mean, you could use 2 balls at a fucking hose and call it a water level, but my question was specific.
You guys are gonna have fun with this.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that should work. That's a good one there. Rob, thanks for that.
Now, how close are they going to let us to this LIGO building? How close are they going to let us to this LIGO building, the water level?
Oh, Brandon, to be fair, they had gravity pulling water from all directions to the center of Earth. So
how would that change anything?
At any point, they're gonna tell you that shit is level and straight, but at the same time, it's curving. It's insanity.
You're right,
Fucking
because
people, man.
because
Hey,
of
on the website, there's
he's
a lady,
actually got a point
and she's pretty
because
close
of
to
the testicle Earth thing. Let me bring that up. You guys don't know what I'm talking about?
Testicle Earth? No.
Yeah, testicle
Potato Earth.
Potato Earth, fine too. I prefer testicle Earth, but
They're gonna they'll say there's a gravitational anomaly there or something. I don't know.
Yep, that's what they're gonna say. Here it is.
So who's gonna go do this?
Here's the testicle Earth.
Listen, relax, bro. You're gonna be doing my taxes if you don't stop.
I don't think you make too much for me to be worth it.
No, you'd be surprised. Yeah, his taxes are.
You better check my fucking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be getting hit with capital gains. You better check my crypto profile. Listen, the point is, we need to know how close we can get to LIGO.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jeremy, you wouldn't want the accountant doing your taxes because you'll probably steal from me, just like his parents. They're all fucking thieves.
Dude, aren't you the mechanic? Aren't mechanics have the highest rate of dishonesty in their field?
Well,
that is a pretty.
Well, you know what? Well, you know what? I might overcharge somebody $100 for being an
Hey, Matrix, we can't hear you very well.
I don't steal $200,000 like a dirty accountant.
Matrix, we can't hear you very well.
You sound like
as a mechanic. I don't like that remark. I'm not a politician.
Hell,
Matrix, you sound like you're on the submarine in the hunt for the Red October with Brian Leakey.
I think people actually trust their politicians more than they trust their mechanics, from what surveys were
Bullshit,
saying.
Bro.
Oh,
are you high right now?
Yeah, but mechanic.
He's trolling.
Hey, mechanics fix shit.
He's
trolling us, right, Brandon? Yeah. No, guys.
No, you know what? You're probably right. They do. They actually do trust their politicians more than a mechanic. Look how dumb they are.
Why are we associating?
True. Good point.
Yeah,
all this
so I would recommend bringing a canoe. First of all, there's that big old canal.
A canoe?
Yeah.
For what, bro? We're not getting in the water.
He's trolling.
What the fuck?
All right, so they do have public tours. It sounds like they quit them for COVID-19, though. Sounds like they might have put the public tours on hold. This is for the Caltech one.
Now, this one, the one by the canal.
Let's see here. Public tours are not currently being scheduled for 2021 due to COVID-19. So if they'll let people in for a public tour, I imagine if we talk to them, we could arrange for us to go in and take some frickin' measurements of their canal against the concrete, couldn't we? Seems reasonable.
Well, how are you going
to
take a measurement from the canal?
We don't even need to touch. Hey, we don't even need to touch the side of their building. We just need to get real close.
How are you going to make a measurement from their canal to their thing?
We're going to get a fucking canoe. We're going to get a canoe and a gyroscope. And a gyroscope. What else do we need?
That's why I said you got to get in the water.
Guys.
Why are you trying so hard to
Well,
derail this conversation? I don't understand.
I'm just baffled as to how you're going to get the measurements, right? I mean, these are in two separate little locations, so you can't just stick a fucking tape measure under it, now can you?
What are you
It's in a
talking
damn-
Why
about?
don't you tell me what the
all you
canoe's
guys
gonna
have
do?
to do,
Bro, you have
all
no
we have to
clue.
do is grab a fucking
This guy has
drone,
no
guys.
idea how a water level works. Can maybe come
He
back
wants us
when
to
you
get a
figure out how a
canoe.
water level works.
So you're just
It's
trying to
just
figure out
that-
if the damn tube is level? Because you can just eyeball that shit and tell that it's not level.
You're a fucking retard.
Guys,
His
What's the
concern
canoe
is
gonna do? That's
transfer
what I'm wondering.
the water level to the tube is what he's talking about.
Yes. You can tell that it's not
Can it be
eye
done
level,
with a
or that it's
drone?
not level.
Brandon,
what's that? Sounds
a
zero.
drone. Can we use a drone?
Probably not.
Drew, use a drone for what?
To carry the water level over there?
Take the measurements of the top
Is
of
there
that
something
shit without
between
getting
the?
close.
Is there something between the arm and the canal that's in the way? Is that the problem? What problem are we trying to solve right now?
Is there a fence? Just like walk
Well,
right
you're
up
going
to
to
it,
have to
'cause if
shoot a
that's the
line.
case-
You're going to have to establish the water level, and then you're going to have to get that vertically over to the tube to compare the height to the water. I mean, how you gonna do that?
Yes, that's what I'm
Sorry,
trying
let
to
me go
figure out as to how you're going to get the measurement from the water to the top of the tube.
I'll
Bro,
tell you
yeah,
what,
no
it's
clue.
definitely not
Leave
going
that
to
to
involve. It's definitely not going to involve a canoe. Okay, I'll
So
tell
how
you
are you
that.
gonna do
That's
it?
fair enough. Hey, Jeremy, let's say that you guys did it your way and you didn't include the measurement I'm about to suggest to you, but I did it alongside what you did. Here's what I would do. I know you won't accept it, but I would use a GPS RTK. And I would measure one arm of that of LIGO. I would
Jesus
measure
Christ.
the very top. I measure the very top of the canal, of the water on the canal, on both ends of that arm, and I would measure the top or the bottom of the structure of LIGO, whichever's easier to do, and I would measure the both ends, and then I would compare those two lines that they created to one another, and I would also see like how much elevation was at each one of those, so you can give it an even.
You realize that goes against the
just
entire
as much as LIGO is,
the
bro.
entire purpose of what we're trying to do, right? I mean, that doesn't support
doesn't.
what we're trying to accomplish at all.
Yeah, it does. It first measures the canal to see if the canal
No,
is.
you're not that dumb that you don't know why it doesn't accomplish what we're trying to do.
on, man.
You're not that
Kosho,
stupid.
GPS
Hold
is
on a
also
second.
on trial here, bro. It ain't
Hold
just
on a second.
LIGO. It's GPS.
Your
GPS
trolling is very
current.
smooth, but it's very transparent at the same time.
What that does, what it does is it gives you an elevation at both ends of the canal, and it also gives you elevation at both ends of the arm at LIGO.
Yeah.
And it also gives
Still
you
playing
those
stupid.
references of those elevations to the straight lines that you created.
When are you going to stop playing dumb? When are you going to stop playing dumb in this?
It's not playing. I
conversation?
mean, that's literally the easiest way to do it, and it'll give you the.
Yeah. Still playing dumb.
I mean, that sounds pretty intelligent to me, but if you think it's dumb, well.
Yeah. I think
So we're going to use GPS where satellites are orbiting Earth.
And if
We're
you
going to
wanna
use the GPS where the satellites are orbiting Earth. Why would we even do it then if there's satellites orbiting Earth?
As I said, I would do it alongside measurement. I wouldn't say don't do it the way that.
Yeah,
you
that's
wouldn't
fine.
accept this way.
That's great.
We already said that.
Jeremy,
you
don't
said
forget-
that 20
No,
minutes
you-
ago,
your
and we said
GPS
yes. And then you had to give us a detailed explanation of how you do this with the GPS.
Well, no, yeah, because you guys were just saying, how would we measure the canal in reference to the?
You know what we're
slide?
talking about,
That's
right?
exactly
We're
how you
talking
do it.
about
That's exactly
on
how
our
you do it.
method, our
GPS,
physical
bro.
measurement,
Hold on.
right? You know that's what the conversation is about, right, Kosho?
We
Yeah,
know it's going to match
exactly.
GPS.
That is a measurement.
We want to see
Your
if
idiot friend was
GPS is
asking
flat
how
or
we're gonna-
curved. We know it's going to match GPS, Kosho. GPS
Oh.
is also on trial
Kosho,
here.
it
We're
wasn't
going
a-
to see if
hold on.
GPS is flat
It
or
wasn't a-
curved, bro.
Kosho, it wasn't us saying how are we going to get the measurement. It was your idiot accountant friend from Gems.
Well, I mean, you guys were asking it to each other as well. Just say, how would you reference the arm to the canal or to the water level?
No. Anyway,
With a water level.
So the question stands: how would we measure it? I think there's
You
quite
get
a
a
few
water level.
very simple ways. Is a plumb bob hung from the water level down to the water, a fucking tape measure. I don't know.
All you need is a tape. You don't need a plumb bob. All you need is a tape measure and the water level. And you carry the water level from the fucking canal over to the arm, and make some measurements with the tape measure.
I
Boom.
don't know how close to the water the top of the canal is. I'm just saying you could hang a plumb bob down when it touched the water, hold the string up to the water level and then measure the string.
Yeah, what's the water level?
Wouldn't hurt.
Like
Wouldn't hurt.
10 feet below the tube, I mean, it's a potential issue there.
Right. And the plumb bob would be heavy, so you just hang it down and hold it up to the tube and then mark it and measure that. But yeah, if we could do it with a tape measure, you just have to ensure that the tape measure is straight up and down.
And confirm that the canal is exactly lined up with the LIGO, and it's not.
We're talking about an exponential drop versus a non-exponential drop. So there's going to be a huge difference.
Yeah, it's
in the measurement.
big.
So it's not.
If it ain't straight, it ain't gonna work anyway.
What alignment are you talking about, Kosho? What alignment?
If you try to use a tape measure to see to reference the water level or the canal with the LIGO, you're not just doing the elevation difference. You're going to have to do the distance difference as well. And if the distance is not exactly lined up with it, then you're going to get an error.
No. We're just getting the altitude. That's all we're doing. We don't need distance or anything. We're using the water level to measure the distance to the top of the water level. At the other end is matched up to the top of the LIGO tube, and just to see how far above the water that water level is. Does that make sense?
Or you could split the difference. Brandon. You could do it halfway above the water and then halfway below the top of the tube or whatever. So that way it wouldn't be like an extreme measurement on either side.
No, it doesn't matter. All you got to do is you just put your water level close to the canal and measure from how you're going to set your water. Just measure from the height you set your water down to the canal, and then reference that to LIGO.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying when you get over to LIGO though, and you're trying to reach up to the top of their fucking thing, are you going to bring a ladder or?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
You'd want to go up definitely above the canal.
The difference. You could do 6 feet. Yeah, you could do 6 feet above the canal, and then I don't know how high that tube is, but maybe you only have to go up 6 feet when you get over there because, instead of 12 feet because you went 6 feet above the water. I don't know.
If there's a line that runs down it that you can ensure is straight, is parallel to the top or the bottom. The reason I was thinking of the top is that's what we were assuming the straight line is. But if there's another line that even the bottom, I don't know what this thing looks like.
I don't think you can see the bottom the whole way across.
Well, I looked at the website and there's a lady. There's a picture of a lady in the parking lot, or looked like a sidewalk or a parking lot, and it didn't look too high. Like it's not some crazy height. It's high, but it's not like a crazy height we couldn't manage. And we could get to the part in the picture, but I don't know the access to the ends of whatever arms, But there's obviously a spot, according to the picture in the website, we could get right to it, and it wouldn't be a problem for nobody. I don't know how the rest of LIGO works.
No, they
don't. They let you walk right up to it.
She's pretty damn close to it, dude. It looked like she had access to get right there up to it. But I don't know about the whole thing.
Or something with us. We'll bring a laser level with us or something.
Well, we can always contact them and ask them if there's a possibility for a private tour and tell them what we're trying to do and see what they say.
This canal is only 50 feet. I mean, I don't even think you'd be good with a laser level or something.
Yeah, you could possibly be, but I want to tell Kosher that not only is LIGO on trial, the GPS is on trial. We know GPS is accurate, but is GPS curving or not? In other words, are those satellites curving around us? At whatever speed, or are the satellites just up above us at a point or a straight line?
All right, let me read these super chats. We'll let them talk about satellites for a minute. Smurfer Girl, whatevs. Intentional waste of time. Yawn. Yeah, he's trolling pretty hard. Thinks he's pretty slick there. Flat Earth Denier, $2. Blocked me, huh? You just missed out. Blocked you? Who are you? Did I block you? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for the super chat. James Richard, new membership. Whale. Thanks, James. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for becoming a member. All right, we'll go back.
show. They could make a straight line on a globe or a flat Earth, and the same, the way Brandon was showing in his picture.
Hold on, before we get too
GPS
far
is
off.
not telling you it's a globe. GPS would be just telling you what a straight line was. You could then use that straight line to make measurements.
Forget this GPS, Brian. Don't go down this road with him. We could just get away with using a laser level. It's like 50 feet. Laser levels are dumb accurate up to 50 feet. No, I heard you get hundreds of feet out of
Yeah,
them.
highly accurate. Plus, I got
That's what I'm saying.
rotationary laser where it points a line and you level it out.
Brian,
it's like a laser
you're in the
auto
hunt
level.
for Red October, bro. Tell
All right,
Alex
sorry.
Baldwin I said what's up.
A laser level. Yeah. Then you've got the
No, don't
error
use
prone
laser
in the
level,
laser
don't
level.
distort
Seems like a water level would be the most accurate way to do it, to be honest. But
I would
maybe.
bring a laser level too.
You could bring both,
just for,
yeah. Fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, a laser level. You could do a laser level thing in fucking 5 minutes. Go set it up on one end, in the middle, and then the other end. I feel like that'd be like the fastest way. I don't think.
He's right.
I heard this. I heard the canal's like 50 feet away. Over 50 feet, you're not really going to have any. Whatever
Why not? It's like
is
20
happening
bucks. Why not?
whatever's happening optically. Hold on, percent. Whatever's happening optically, it's probably going to happen in both ends in the middle, and it's not like we're measuring the distance of the thing. You know what I mean? We're just measuring where it lines up on the tunnel.
That's a great idea, bro. I got a differential level, like a little dot. You know, that'd be way easier than any other method. Now that you
That's
mention
what
it,
I'm saying.
I got a little Harbor Freight laser
Guys,
level.
let percentage get in here. He's been trying to get what percentage?
No, I was just gonna say, like, you know, we should get as many measurements as possible. So for a $20, like $20 laser level, you know, why not? If it takes like 5 minutes to get a measurement, why not? You know?
Yeah.
Percentage said you got a cheap ass laser level, Leaky.
Which cities that
He said,
they
"Fuck
go in? The one down
I
south.
don't know.
In New Orleans, or outside of New Orleans, right there by New Orleans, in Louisiana. Slidell, maybe.
Arkansas.
You feel me though? 50 feet. Is the canal 50 feet? First of all, is the canal flowing at all, or is it still water?
Oh, this is gonna crash my computer.
I just checked and it's still water.
It's still water. Okay, so if we get the laser level, I mean, is it 50 feet away from the tube or what?
I'm bringing it up
Can
on
someone
Google
get a
Earth right
distance on
now,
Google?
but hopefully it doesn't crash my computer. Oh, it's not far at all, man.
If it's less than 100 feet, I'd think we're good. I don't know. Maybe check with Bev or somebody that knows what they're doing with laser levels. Rob's here. He probably knows. Leaky doesn't know. Percentage already said you got $20 laser level from Home Depot.
Bro, I can measure it right now. It's not far at all. Let's see here. I think that's the canal, right?
Percentage, how you doing, bro? I missed you. I ain't seen you. What's up? Jay Brandon?
0.1 miles. 58. Let me see.
0.1 mile?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me put it in feet. Maybe that's the lowest it tells. 70.
That's 52.
71
That's 52
dude.
feet.
And I put it out in the water a little bit. It's like 75 feet.
Well, we're good because we're going to have the canoe, right?
Yeah.
We need the canoe that your boy suggested.
And the submarine.
Fucking guy. This guy, Brian's got the leak. He's got the submarine.
Just pop
So,
out of the
good.
hatch and we'll do it from there.
Fucking canoe.
He said you're gonna need a
That
canoe.
dude didn't even know what a water level is,
Yeah,
dude.
bro. What the fuck you gonna do with a canoe?
Like, dude.
So, hold on. I'm excited. I'm getting all excitable right now. So, who knows how laser levels work?
Crickets. Oh, wait a minute.
Rob's probably working.
I've got 3 of them.
This fucking canal doesn't go all the way down. It like split into sections. Well, I guess hopefully it's all connected. Yeah. All right. It's down
Wait,
to there.
what?
I think we're good. No, there's this part
What's
where the
going on?
canal is like overgrown or something. Like,
Oh, we'll be all right. We can always.
Yeah, it's
We can always
overgrown,
make the
man. You're not
measurement.
going to have access to the canal, but you only need a point, just one point over by the canal.
yeah, but as
We
long
can
as the
make it work.
canal's
If I know I can
connected,
get on, I'll make it work.
it's kind of relying on the canal being connected. That's my point. I don't know if this
Yeah.
is connected waterway or not, but I guess we can figure that out.
What the fuck, guys? I was getting all excited.
Don't
for a
matter.
minute.
No, I
Water
think we're all
is
right.
level though, man.
It just looks it looks either overgrown, really swampy in the middle of it.
Oh,
I don't know. What's this
that's
thing?
fine. Okay, so
We're probably
all we
boring
need
the
to do
shit
is
out
get
of
over
people
there with a
this.
laser level. What? No, this is great, man. I'm fucking fired up. Who's not fired up right now over this?
I don't know.
I am, man.
Where
I
is
don't
this,
care
in
if it's grown
Louisiana?
over, man. They let me on that site and give me access out there. I don't care
You
if
don't
the
even
cat's
need-
grown over. I don't care any of that shit. I'll make
You're
it work.
probably
I'll
already
find
on the
out one way
blacklist,
or another.
Brian.
Where is this, Louisiana, Brandon?
Yeah.
Well, let's get Rakia down there. He's probably listening. Shouts out to Rakia. Or somebody, get down there with a laser level. I mean, you don't even got to get close for that. You can just let the laser hit the tube. We'll have this fucking done up by dinner time.
They send the cops, then you have a story to tell, right? Because they maybe send somebody to tell you, hey, you're interrupting our experiment about the gravitational waves happening in the other side of the universe. Yeah.
I'm just saying, this sounds easy now that we could use a laser level. I feel like
That brings us back to Kosho. Hey, Kosho. So you said you got us if we figure out that it's wrong. So what do we got? Are we debunking LIGO or the globe, Kosho?
Oh, they'd give up LIGO, bro. There's no way they're gonna say LIGO's straight, but the LIGO's straight and the globe's not if it matches. They give up LIGO in a heartbeat, bro. You know.
I'll bet anything that it's level. It's straight. I'll bet anything. It's not. It's not going to be exponential
water, yeah.
compared to water. I'll bet anything it's not going to be exponentially compared to the water.
I wouldn't put anything on it, but
what is the purpose
I bet
of
everything.
this?
I bet everything I own on it.
What's the purpose of this canal? Why do they have this right next to LIGO? Anybody know?
Even if that canal wasn't there, we could have done the same thing with the water level. We could have turned a water level into the canal. You feel me?
No.
What do you
we
mean,
need a
no? We
baseline.
could have brought a water level there. Yeah, we could have brought a water level there, pretending
They
it was
put
the
that canal. They put that canal next to LIGO because they weren't going to take any chances on a multi-million-dollar project like that. And even if they had intentions on covering it up for a project like that, they would have dug canals temporary, if not permanent. They're not going to take chances on a project that size.
Where's Wally's making pre-excuses? He says that they can't use flowing water. He's saying the water is flowing.
Yeah, either way, it don't matter. They let me on. I'm accepting all bets.
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter if the water is flowing. See,
I don't think it is, though. I've been looking at it up and down. I don't think it is a flowing body of water.
Even if the water is flowing, you can just go there, run your own water level on the side of it, and mimic the canal, a still body of water with the water level, and then shoot your lasers over.
I don't think that'll work. How would you do that?
Why?
Because
you get your water level out there.
Yeah.
The water level is your baseline, bro. It's the water. It does the same thing the water in the canal does.
Jeremy, if the water level was our baseline this whole time, we could just go out in our backyard and do that.
No, we measure, bro. You get a water level. You run the water level, like where the canal is, and then you take your laser. You have the water level be 3 things. So we got 3 spots to measure off of. You know what I'm saying? And shoot it to the tube. Easy peasy.
As long as they're connected. Or you could connect them with the water level. But one of them's got to be connected.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, the water's got to be connected.
Yeah, you make a 2-mile water level. I mean, that might even be easier than using the canal itself if it's all overgrown. I don't know.
No, it's not all overgrown. Look at it on Google Earth when you get home. It's just an area.
The canal is your water level.
It's overgrown, yeah.
But I get what you're saying. 2-mile water level would be a bitch. I don't even know if it'd be.
That's a few hoses. That's a couple hoses from. Hold on, Rumpus. That's a couple hoses from Home Depot. Like we're talking like.
When I first joined Planet Earth, I seen a guy with a 2-mile water level on his farm.
Yeah, a couple grand for some hoses.
The water level is pointless because you have to draw a straight line between the 2 ends of the water level. So having a water level over more than a few meters is.
You don't even know what we're talking about. You don't even know what we're talking about.
No,
You
do
don't.
not need to. All you need to do is to measure the distance to the top of this tube. Presumably, if the top of that tube is actually the top of the chamber and that follows a straight line, assuming that, crucial, then if that represents the straight line of the LIGO, then all you need to do is to measure the position of that relative to the canal next to it, which you can do with an auto level or a theodolite.
That's what we've been talking about, but we're talking about doing it with a water level.
Why?
Because it's easier.
In case the canal was flowing or something or whatever.
It's not optical. It's just hold up one end to the water level to the top of LIGO, hold the other end over the canal, and measure to the
water level over that length of distance is pointless.
No,
not
that. No, it's only 75 feet.
Easier with a laser. You're right. It would be easier, but we're just trying to be thorough, Rumpus.
Well, the water's thorough. If you've got, providing the canal is connected between the ends, you've got a perfect level there, which you can then measure against the straight line. That's all you need. Is
that's
the
what we're measuring.
That's what we're going to do.
Just doing it with a water level.
Perfect.
But the water level's irrelevant. That's just pointless.
No, it's not.
Just use the canal. Just use the canal.
We're going to use the canal. We're not going to buy a 3-mile water level if we don't have to. Trust me.
You don't have the. It doesn't help.
We're using the canal.
Level.
Relax, bro.
The
Relax.
water level doesn't
spiraling
help.
over nothing.
It's irrelevant.
Why are
Because
you
if you want to use
Rumpus, the water would be to take pictures and show people. Okay, the water would be water level would be for evidence to run a water level in between the canal and LIGO at 3 different points to take pictures and have visual evidence. Okay.
But why not just use the canal? I don't understand. What is the?
We're going to
use
the canal. We're going to use the canal, bro.
What does the water level give you? The canal doesn't.
That's a great idea. We'll go with Rumpus's idea and use the canal.
Jesus. Yeah, let's use the canal,
guys.
Use
the fucking canal.
Yeah. Who would have thought of that? God, why didn't you think of that?
But why are you talking about
the water level?
Was
the last. The water level was the worst case scenario. Relax, bro. We're just making plan B.
Right, we're being thorough. Let's stand soft, Jared. Joining late and don't. Dude, I like where your mind's at, but dude, you just ease in.
You're not. When you say water level, when you talk about using a water level, you normally mean that you draw a line between the two ends of the water level. Now, if you're just using it as a water container, like your own portable canal, that's a different thing. That's no longer a water level. That's just a tube full of water that's all at the same level. You're not trying to draw lines between them.
No, we're not trying to draw lines between them. We're just using it to measure from the canal surface to the...
Okay, so it's not really a water level then. It's just simply a tube, a hose full of water so that you can then fill up to a certain level and then just take measurements of the tube relative to that. But it's
Same
not
idea
a water level.
As using a theodolite. I'm not that familiar with theodolites, so my mind doesn't go to using them, but maybe the same thing is possible with theodolite is what we're talking about. It's
assume for the moment the canal is all... If you want to have a hose that behaves like the canal, okay, that's fine. It's not a water level. It's just behaving like a very small canal in a hose. And they will obviously
dude.
Okay, but don't.
What's the difference between our hose full of water and the water level?
Okay, so it's a hose full of fine, then it's not a water
Rumpus,
level.
talk to your people, man. Get me
What's the difference
get me an all day
between the
cash out
hose
there, man.
full of water?
Jesse's trying to get in there. Jesse
It is a
and
water
what's the difference?
I think is it Larry or Jesse are trying to get in there. They're talking. They're emailing the people. I can't remember which LIGO station they're talking to. They are.
You don't even need to get in there.
They are trying to get in there.
You can do this from right outside, Rumpus.
Jesus. And there's a great than 50% chance he'll succeed, and he'll do a survey of it.
Rumpus, we can do this from right outside, bro. We don't need to get inside and question. We don't need to get inside. We can do this from right outside. Were you not listening for the past?
Yeah. Well, it depends. If that top of that tube really represents the LIGO tube, and it's not just some sort of container in which it doesn't represent the tube, then you're going to be in trouble. But if it does represent the tube, then indeed you're correct. You don't need to get inside it. Then
so you're saying you're already making excuses that the tube's not straight.
No, the tube. I'm a shoot.
Yeah. That's literally what you just started to do. You're already ready. If it matches up, you're already ready to say, "Oh, the tube's not straight."
Please stop it, you moron! I'm trying to help here. I'm just saying you don't want to get in a
You're
position
never
where
trying
that
to help.
tube. You're making an assumption about that tube. Now, it would seem natural that would be the straight tube. That seems to be very likely. But you've got to make sure that's the case. Assuming that is the case, which
so
is
this is no good unless we can get up to the actual laser beam.
And there isn't a problem.
Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. You overtalked me. I have no idea what you were saying because you overtalked me.
You're saying this is no good unless we can get up to the actual laser beam.
No, you don't. What laser beam? Where did that come from? No, I'm not saying that. My God.
What are you saying then? Say
Right,
something.
listen then. Shut up and stop over talking me. If you assume
ahead.
that the metal tube you can see is straight, which seems very likely, then all you need to do is to use a theodolite or an auto level to measure the distance the top of that tube is from the canal that's adjacent to it. That's all you need to do. And in the case of the Earth being curved, you'll get a nice curved set of data. If it's not, you'll get a straight line. It might be inclined one way or the other because you don't
And
know
if we measure... All right, hold on.
You don't know if it's
And if-
inclined, because obviously there's this issue about how it's
I know.
inclined. But one case will give you a straight line, and the curved and the Earth's spherical case will give you a curved line. So they will be different.
So if
in
we
each
measure...
circumstance.
Hold on.
Sorry.
I know, I understand. So if we measure it being straight... Settle down. So if it matches the water, if we measure it and it matches the water, then you're going to say, well, the tube's not straight. Right?
Well, yes, it'd have
You're
to
already
not match
preparing.
the water. Right, now it has to match.
You're already preparing your excuse. We know.
It's not an excuse, you moron. It's the basic geometry of the situation. You can't just say, but I'm saying you will be able to measure a difference. It should be measurable, and you will get a curve in one case, and you would get a straight line in another. The straight line might be inclined, so it might be different to one end to the other on a flat Earth if they decided for whatever reason not to make the tube horizontal.
You
But
lost me, man. Could you
trying-
draw it out so we can understand?
I could draw it out, yeah. I mean, it's
Do a diagram. There we go. We'll do a little diagram here.
draw a diagram.
Rumpus, I got a question. If we figure out that it's wrong, are we debunking LIGO or the Earth?
He's already said it, Brian. He's just going to say that the tube's not straight.
Well, no, I'm sure if the people
He's already
LIGO
made
people-
his excuse. You guys missed
listen,
it.
Jeremy. If the LIGO people say the tube's straight, then I'll accept that. I wouldn't dispute it if they said so, or the drawings say it's straight. I suspect it is straight.
It is,
but you
straight.
can't
That's
be
what they
sure.
claim.
You have to look at there are drawings. We do have drawings. I've seen them. Blue has been looking at them, and I think the thing is straight. But you cannot make assumptions with these things. It's like people were talking about the building the last time.
No, they claim it's a straight 2-kilometer arm, and then another straight 2-kilometer arm, right?
Right, but you don't know that tube. Does that tube is the tube straight? Obviously, the stuff
That's what they claim.
inside is straight. The position of the mirrors and everything is obviously straight. But does that mean that the tube that's surrounding it is also straight? I suspect that it is. But I'm just saying you don't want to make any assumptions unless I suspect if you go to the drawings, they'll probably say it's straight, and then that issue is completely sorted. But the point is, you won't get that result because I know the Earth is here.
If they use levels to build that pipe, then it's not straight, right? Because each level where they position it is
No,
going to be.
They don't use levels.
It's
That's
going to
the
be
whole point.
perpendicular to the
Use-
center of the Earth, right?
They didn't use levels to do that. They
Oh,
did
no,
it.
you know how to build it.
They
It
did
has
it
to
with
be straight
differential
because it's propagating a
GPS.
light in a vacuum.
Rumpus,
It
you
has-
tell Larry that if they get a patch out there and they don't tell me or invite me or at least tell me when they're going, I'm going to be fucking pissed, dude. I
Okay,
talked to Larry a lot.
Okay,
We've already
Jeff,
talked about
Brian.
meeting. He offered a meeting and everything. If they will please get the
Brian,
message
I
out
will-
to Larry and
Okay,
Jesse.
Larry and others are communicating about this, and Jesse and Co.
Rumpus,
I will
don't you agree
I will
that it would have to be
I
straight?
will mention that to Larry, Brian. Go ahead, whoever's trying to interrupt me.
I was gonna say, don't you think it would have to be straight if they're bouncing this light in a vacuum back and forth 400 times or whatever on this 2-kilometer
the path
and
the
it
light
goes in the
ray
same
would have to be
location?
straight, but that doesn't mean the tube has to be straight.
There could be a little mini ionosphere in there. They're bouncing it.
No, the tube just could be slightly bent one way or another. It might not be as accurate, but what they need, of course, is a straight path from the junction of the two tubes and the mirror. That has to be
that bitch is
absolutely
straight.
But
Yeah,
they
but
could
if the
have, they
tube's
could
not
have,
straight,
they could
it
have
would
the
have to be
tube.
really, really
They
big.
could have the tube wiggling up and down between those 2 points by some small amount.
Yeah, but
I'll
it
say
has
it's
to be
straight
really,
and
really
it's
big
level,
if
Rumpus. My
after
claim is
400
that tube
bounces,
is
the light
straight
comes to the
and
same
level.
location.
Guys,
I
hold on. If the tube's not straight, hold on, Rumpus. If the tube's not straight, wouldn't you have parts of it where the laser beams at the floor and the laser beams at the ceiling at other
that's
parts?
why I say it'd have to be a little bit. Obviously, the light path has
Why
to
are
be
you
perfectly
yelling?
straight. But I've said this now about 5 times. You keep on coming up with some stupid point. The tube itself could wiggle up and down. Let's say it could wiggle up and down by, say, 10 centimeters. If the light ray is in the middle of it, it wouldn't make a difference.
He's
If
saying
the tube
it
was
could be
jiggling
not
up
They
and down,
got
straight, but if the
photons
tube
that
is
can
big
find the
enough, it
mirror.
won't affect the light.
Their photons will find that mirror.
Let's let Percentage
again,
go back
Brian.
and forth. Go ahead, Percentage.
No, Rumpus is basically saying like the tube could be not straight. It could be have a little bit of divots in it, back and forth, but you won't notice because it's big enough where it's not occluding the light.
Yeah, it mustn't occlude. It
But
mustn't
I think
occlude the light.
the
Yes. There
working
must be a clear
assumption should
path.
be that it's straight.
But I mean, I think it's likely that they're going to make an effort to make it straight. I suspect they're going to make a big effort to, but you can't guarantee that unless you look at the drawings. Like, we do have the drawings; they're online, and we were looking at them before, weren't we? And I've got them, downloaded them, but I haven't checked that the damn tube is exactly aligned in a straight. I suspect that it is. I suspect.
Even if we do this, hold on, Rumpus, stop rambling. Even if we do this, Brandon, they'll just come back and say, "Well, the inside is straight, but the outside tube's not, not straight."
Well, it can't be wiggling very much.
You sure?
Yes, because otherwise there's a meter. I think it's a 1.2 meters is the difference between the drop and the curvature of the Earth. So you've got a 1.2 meter thing to deal with. Now, if it was to, it'd have to be. So in other words, if you could have it moving around by a little bit, but it would. But it's got the tube. If the top of the tube is any way related to the drop, it's going to move by 1.2 meters down at the far end from the other end, and you should see that on the measurements against the canal.
Where's the tangent at this LIGO tube?
I don't know. I did read.
Why does nobody know?
I told you they've already pulled up the blueprints and everything.
How does nobody know where the tangent is?
Well,
It's probably because you guys don't have a tangent because
It won't
Earth's
make
not a
any
globe.
difference to the measure. The measurements will still show a
There's
curve.
no benchmark on the plans.
There's no tangent because the Earth's not a sphere.
It is a sphere. It will still show.
Why don't you have a tangent at LIGO then?
Well, there is someone knows where the tangent is. I don't.
Where is it at?
No, they don't.
Who knows? Who knows? Where's it at?
No, you moron. So the point
You got
is,
no
it doesn't
tangent.
make any difference to your test.
You got no tangent,
It
bro.
will still show a curve between that and the
You
water
got no
canal,
tangent.
wherever the tangent is.
There isn't one. There's no tangent. Where is it?
I don't know. I'm going to have to say it again. I don't
It's not
happen
there.
to know. You're
You
just
don't know
making
'cause
that
it's
up.
not there.
Jeremy, you're just making that up.
I'm not making it up. You're making up that there
You
is
just
one.
made that up. You've no basis.
He's
for
not
knowing
making it up.
where
Right.
the
I'm saying the shit don't
tangent is.
exist.
You're just making
I'm
that
saying
up.
the
and that doesn't
tangent.
He
make
is
Hold on.
not
Hold on.
making it up.
Hold on,
I've
Brian.
already went over this with Blue
Brian,
Numbers
hold on.
Science. They pulled up the plans.
observation.
Hold on, Brian. I'm saying the tangent doesn't exist. That's a claim of non-existence. That's a negative claim. If you're claiming there is a tangent, where the fuck is it?
That's a
I don't
positive.
happen to know.
The positive claim is that there is a tangent.
I don't happen to know where it is in that structure.
Because there isn't.
No,
there
I-
isn't one.
Okay.
No,
Let me
no.
back Jeremy up
That's
here.
very
Let me back
you
Jeremy
cannot
up.
draw- That's called an argument from ignorance. Because I can't supply you with the exact
Hold
answer, you're
on.
saying it doesn't exist. That's a classic
You're
moronic
ignorant, all right.
piece of
These-
stupid
Listen,
logic.
Rumpus,
You're
listen.
ignorant of a
We-
basic piece of logic.
You're ignorant. We know
I
you're
don't
ignorant.
happen to know where it is.
Rumpus.
Doesn't
You also don't know
mean
what
there
an
isn't
argument
one.
from
And
ignorance
the fact
is,
that
but
you think you've made a proper argument means you're a moron. Go ahead.
Rumpus,
you
we
have
talked about
no-
this in
you
our
have no-
days. They pulled up the blueprints and everything. They could not find a benchmark or a tangent. Okay, he's not making it up. We've already discussed this. We led the whole topic of conversation with the fact that there's no tangent.
You build
doesn't
the
mean there's no
blueprint to the benchmark, don't you? You
no
don't
tangent. Where is it? If you're claiming if you're having a claim of existence of something, a positive claim, you need to prove that it exists. Until then, we're going to just say it doesn't exist, and that's fine.
That makes you a moron.
It's a negative
Just because
claim.
I don't have to know the exact location of a tangent
That makes
doesn't
you
mean
a
to say that
moron,
it doesn't
Rumpus, for
exist.
claiming
That's
something
called an
not
argument from
substantiating it.
ignorance.
You got
It's a very
roasted,
stupid
homie.
argument.
You got fucking roasted here tonight. All right.
You're a moron. If you
It
think
is
that, you're
very
even more
possible
stupid
that
than you usually be.
it is very possible
It's
that this
incredible logic.
concrete container that has the laser tube in it isn't perfectly straight. That is a definite possibility. Just looking at this.
You'd still have a benchmark and an elevation benchmark. It should have been on the plans, and
That's what
would
I'm
be
saying, Brandon.
the
The thing they're even claiming to do in there is to measure 1/10,000th the width of a proton.
Yeah.
So the whole thing's suspect right from the jump.
What are you talking about? That's got nothing to do with the building, you moron. The only
The
thing
whole
that
premise of what they're doing there is
you moron, that's got
ridiculous.
nothing to do with the building's accuracy. Providing the
1/10,000th
lasers,
the width of a
you don't-
proton.
God, you're getting more stupid by the moment. They providing the laser can see the mirror at the other end. It doesn't matter whether the bloody thing is banana shaped, providing the laser's got a clean line to the mirror. It could wiggle up and down by 10 meters, providing it doesn't obscure the laser.
Rumpus,
Jesus,
I'll
you're getting
guarantee
more
you.
stupid
I will
by the
guarantee you
moment.
this. When was Lego built? It was built before all this topic, so it'll be a horizontal, straight. It'll be level with the water. That's why they built the canals.
No, it's
I'll
not
bet
level with the water. It's
everything.
absolutely
It
not level
probably
with the
is.
Why they
water.
build the canal?
Well, I mean, personally, I would have
Wait.
thought.
Why
Oh
do you
my
say
God,
it's not level with the water?
There's an important
Rumpus,
answer
Listen,
there.
tangent boy.
There's an
Why they
important
build the
It should be
canal?
level with the water,
There's an
Rumpus. It should be
important
level
answer
with
I
the
can
water.
give to that.
Water is
It wouldn't
curving,
There's an
right?
important answer I can give for that. I would have built the canal there. I don't know if you saw Mr. Sensible's thing about how they built a water
Yeah, I
tank.
understand. They would definitely
Oh
put the
my
canal
God!
there.
Can I just finish?
Hold on.
So what?
Wow. Can you turn
My
him down?
God! So what you would do? What I would have done before GPS. Before GPS existed,
We've
I
already
would have
said
built.
all this, Rumpus.
Jesus
You're just
Christ! Can I
repeating what we've
just
already
finish this
said.
goddamn sentence?
Hold on,
Brian?
Brian. Hold on.
Just
Let him
let me
get it out.
finish this point.
No,
Right.
Rumpus,
So
the point,
shut up,
Rumpus,
Brian.
Rumpus,
It's only be 10
Yeah.
seconds.
Guys,
Then you can
fuck's
come back
sake.
at me.
Settle
Right.
down,
So what
guys.
I would have done was to have built that canal as well, and then knowing that the canal is level, that is curved. Then I would have knowing that thing, would have taken measurements of it to then get the straight line version of it. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, that's already been said. We already said that. If you'd have been listening earlier, eased in. We've already discussed the
But you
fact that
asked
we'd
me a
have built the
question,
canal
so why
next
did you
to
ask
it.
me that stupid
Okay,
question
now here's the
then?
question.
If you
Okay,
already
it's
had
not a
the
question.
answer,
Okay, I'm just
why
telling
did
you.
you ask me the
You're
stupid question?
You're repeating what's already been said. What I'm trying to tell you is that this Lego was built before this debate. So any contractor out there would not even have been discussing the Earth curve. Okay, the reason there's not a benchmark, what there is on them plans, I bet you, is as a basic elevation. Okay, what is it, the elevation? Okay, there's not a benchmark. Okay, and with a tangent on it because there's no tangent. This happened before this debate, so contractors would have went out there and just built it. They'd have started with a benchmark and just built level from that benchmark, bro. Just how we do in construction.
What debate are you talking about? These engineers don't worry about this debate. You're ignored. There's no contention here. All surveyors, etc., know that the Earth's curved. They're not doing anything different.
No, they don't. It's never discussed.
They've now got.
Rumpus, you're full of shit. It's never discussed, Rumpus.
Differential GPS,
Let me
which
just
they
say
didn't
this.
have.
Engineers don't have.
I suspect they didn't
Engineers
have.
have nothing to do with
I
the
suspect they
building.
didn't have.
Screaming over
I
people,
suspect
man.
they didn't have differential GPS when they built LIGO, and they may have used another system. I don't know.
Rumpus, engineers have nothing to do with the construction of the building.
Yeah, Earth curve is not factored in unless it's 200 miles or more, Rumpus.
Dummy.
They do not factor in Earth
Moron.
curve in construction.
Well, the way they laid this out would have required someone with a blueprint, someone saying this is what you've got to put this here and here, and this is the elevation position or something. Well, I don't know.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. In conclusion, you don't know where the tangent is. You don't know how they built the thing. You don't know why the canal was put there.
No.
And you don't even know if there is a tangent.
And yet he's an expert on that thing.
You know there's a tangent there. Where's it at?
You keep on saying that, and you still don't understand that that's a really stupid thing to then draw the conclusion that because I can't tell you exactly where it is, therefore it doesn't exist. That's called an argument for ignorance, and you're deploying a really stupid argument, Jeremy, and you should stop it now.
Bullshit.
You know it's there, but you don't know where it is.
Critical to the construction of that fucking.
Saw a super chat come in from Dan Morris. Thank you, Dan. Float a measuring rod in a raft. Just record the weight, or else the ballers will say you dropped weights in the raft. A measuring rod in the. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you'd have to know how far it pushes down into the water, right? That's an interesting idea. Thanks, Dan.
Light and all that stuff, but you're saying that the actual building of the actual structure doesn't have to be exact to the meter?
It has to be exact. It has to be exact.
I
can
guarantee
tell everybody this from experience.
Where in the blueprints does it show that the path of the light is still okay even with any amount of tangent?
It's not about the light. It's about the structure for the integrity. It needs to be.
Right, but I mean, someone had to figure it out. Someone had to have figured out in the plans the most possible amount of curve it could accept without interrupting that field of light. Correct?
Look,
No,
if
it's more than that, because
they're constructing straight pipes, and at one point they will need to fill up a little gap if that shit is curving.
Yeah, it's more
Otherwise,
than that
this is
because
my experience, guys. It's what I do for a
if the
living.
tube's not straight, hold on, Brian. If the tube's not straight, at one point you're gonna have the laser on the floor, and another point you're gonna have the laser at the fucking ceiling. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let me say real quick, guys. This is this is what I do for a living. And you look at any set of plans, there's never a fucking tangent on a set of plans. There's a benchmark, okay, and an elevation, okay. There's no tangent in a set of
that's
plans.
implied, Brian. Just because
it's not fucking implied, Rumpus. We go by horizontal,
the plans
bro.
they're going to end up with are going to say the plans are going to imply where there is a tangent. I mean, obviously, when they deliver the blueprint drawings or whatever, how they're going to build it, they're going to say we want this at this elevation, that elevation, that something else at the other elevation, and then
everything we build, Rumpus, is flat. It's flat.
Now
is,
he's an expert on
yes, but
architecture.
But
everything we build
include, Brian, the plans they're going to include in the plans the
Fucking
required
Rumpus.
elevation to give you
everything we build, Rumpus, is flat.
How many years did it take you to become an expert in everything?
Me.
Yes, now you're an expert in architecture.
I'm not an expert in everything, but I'm an expert in I wouldn't even call myself an expert, but I do. Well, the things that I do say are correct. But that doesn't mean to say I'm an expert in everything. I mean, I'm not even physics, for instance.
For God's sake,
how many years did it take you?
A lifetime.
You're still alive, so you can't.
It doesn't take very much effort to be an expert with respect to the people in here, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I know it doesn't take too much effort to be a stupid Trumpus. That's a fact, yeah.
You ain't never built
I would
nothing,
say,
Rumpus.
I would say that a
Rumpus,
wise
you
man
can't win
knows
against
nothing.
stupid.
Only a fool knows everything. That's you, Rumpus.
But
I guarantee you, Rumpus has never laid out a straight line.
You're describing
Never
the Dunning-Kruger
worked with
behavior of many
elevation.
people in this panel.
But
I know that
Rumpus goes by manuals and brochures and booklets.
here's what I don't get
Never
with
done
the
this
flat
shit in real
earthers,
life.
though.
I know that
Here's what
I'm
I
ignorant, but I know that I know more
This
than
is what
the
I
other
don't
people
get,
in
guys.
here.
But
Only
this whole topic is
in
leaving
a
me
jury of your
confused.
own
Like Peter,
peers, you know.
it's almost like the flat earthers don't agree with the black swan because, and I mean no disrespect, it just seems like the experiment you guys have been talking about doing is on a much smaller scale than the black swan. So maybe you don't agree with the black
You're talking
swan.
about this LIGO thing.
Well,
This LIGO experiment,
I'm just,
James.
No,
I'm just
we're trying to
confused on
prove
White
why.
guilt.
Which
is
experiment are you
being
talking
black
about,
swan.
James? James,
At
which
this point,
experiment
we're
are you
gathering
talking about?
information
hold
from
on.
all over.
Well, you didn't listen
We're
to me.
gathering information from
Which
all over
experiment are you
things.
talking about, James?
Let me
The
respond.
LIGO one.
Let me
with
respond to
the-
James because he addressed the
with the
flat
canoe and
earthers.
the
So I understand what
canal.
you're saying, James. But the two are not connected in my mind. When I look at that
Right.
footage from what is the name? I've got it written down somewhere. MLB, whatever. The Black Swan
BMLS.
footage. BMLS. Okay. And when I look at that footage, yeah, it looks flat, but it's optical, so they can always claim refraction or whatever. But what we're talking about
That's a
doing here
perfect
is a
answer, Steve.
physical measurement against a baseline that we know is straight for a long period of time, and measuring
Okay.
the delta between
Yeah, they
that
won't accept right.
baseline and
They say it.
the water level to prove the shape of the water.
Yeah, we're still here because they black swan, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think we should
I
do
agree with
measuring
what you said. I'm
over
glad
the
you listened
water
to what I said. Thank you.
because I think it's gonna give them plausible
BMLS.
deniability every time.
No, mate.
Well,
The only measurement for this LIGO thing, the only measurement that needs to be made is from getting a bloody auto-level or theodolite and just do some differential leveling between the canal surface and the next door, or however it's 20 meters away or something, surface of the top of the tube. That's all that's required. It's perfectly, and then you're not going to get any refraction issues with that. It's good because it's so close, so you don't need to worry about refraction. You can guarantee, using normal surveying techniques, the difference between the top of the water in the canal and the top of the tube, and you will see
I
that
guarantee
will
you
be
this.
way curved.
Okay,
Yeah, I
from
like
surveying
that.
my whole life, okay, but on small scale, I guarantee you this. Looking at plans and all that stuff, this was, like I said, before the debate. I will bet anything that it's straight, and if it's exactly level, it'll go with the water. If it's inclined, it'll be a steady flow away from the water.
The key thing is curved,
down.
Brian. Don't forget, it could be inclined in some way.
My question is...
Hold on, Brian. The key thing is...
Wait, I wasn't done. If I prove that, Rumpus, am I debunking LIGO? Wait, this is my whole point. If I debunk this, am I debunking LIGO or the Earth curve? Because I will guarantee you that LIGO is straight.
Well, you cannot possibly debunk it. It will be. It will be straight, and it will be different to the canal level in a curve. It will be.
And what if they're the same?
Like it's not exponentially dropping away from the water. Am I debunking Earth curve or LIGO, Rumpus? I need to know right
then they're also
it must
would
be
have been
that
the
way.
same
If you
Guys.
debunk it, you'll be debunking everything.
It's so hard
Right?
because at this point they claim water curves, and at that point, any level that you use to try to do a straight line or whatever, it's saying that level is measuring a how you say a perpendicular to the center of the earth.
Silent.
Let me finish.
Yep.
I'd like to get this concession out of Rumpus, man. If y'all let me finish, I could pin him down. Because I know that LIGO is straight, no matter what it's sitting on. But I want a concession out of Rumpus that if I showed that the water is not exponentially dropping,
It's not exponential. You don't know what exponential means. It's a square function.
Progressive,
it's a square. It's a polynomial square function.
The fact
Not
that
okay,
you're
exponential.
it's like exponential.
Okay.
It's curved. There'll be a curve there.
Don't act stupid, Ron. What I'm talking about. Okay, it's not just a lateral. If it's curving away, if the water is curving, and we will show that by an 8-inch drop the first mile and a 32-inch drop the second mile.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I can show that to be wrong,
the water will be your reference. So what you'll see is that
Right.
effectively
We already went over all that at the beginning.
So the water will be your reference,
So
and that
enough of
means that
that. Your accuracy
that means
will
the
be my
position at the top of the
downfall.
tube will seem to be curved. If
so
you
we
take
can
the
see
reference
that
to
if
the
I
water,
show them to be level with the
Jesus
water.
Christ, just 5 seconds, Brian. If the water is
Rumpus.
your reference and you assume that to be straight, then the measurements you'll get will be a curve of the tube.
Let
If
me
the
ask
Earth
you,
is
watch
flat,
Brian.
you
Watch-
won't
watch-
get a curve of the tube.
Watch
Finish.
Brian, why you cannot pin him down? Rumpus, when we do the measurement, is that water curve already?
Yes, it will be, but I'm not
There you go,
assuming
Brian.
that. I'm not assuming that in this measurement. Just listen.
It's
Try
good,
listening
but-
at the start. You're not listening.
There you
If
go,
you
Brian. That's why
No,
you cannot pin him down.
You're not listening. You're not listening. If you
No,
take the
nobody cares,
measurement,
man. I don't care about your bullshit.
listen. If you make the measurement using a theodolite or auto level from the water to the same point
But if the water
next
is
to it
curving-
on the tube, on a curved Earth, there will be a curve of that data. On a flat Earth, it would be a straight line.
We
and there's
understand.
no
We
argument.
went through all that at the beginning.
If they use levels to build that pipe, that pipe is gonna end up being a curve because water always pointing to the perpendicular
Didn't
of
use
the
levels
center
to
of
make
the
up a
earth.
pipe.
Oh,
They
you
did
got
not
another
just
screamer.
follow the level. That's
Why
the whole
didn't
point. They
some
didn't
flurf
do that.
This experiment. Why didn't some flurf actually do this experiment?
Oh my God! Who let this
Shut
fucker
up.
in? Holy
How
shit!
come somebody doesn't actually do this fucking experiment?
Shut up.
That's paid that Shill's
Nobody
debate.
actually does it.
Shill, Brian is actually proposing to go there and actually do the measurement we're talking about.
Excellent. I'd like to see somebody actually do this water level over like a mile or two.
But well, no, they're not proposing to build it anymore. They're proposing to just go and use the LIGO.
Another person who wanders in and doesn't know what he's talking
LIGO
about.
against the canal, and then
It's
you get
pointless because you guys got water curving already, so it's pointless.
No, it's not, because we've all agreed, so you haven't understood what's going on. If the relationship between the tube and the water is a straight line, then the Earth is flat. If there is a curve there, then the Earth is curved.
We already talked about this at the beginning.
I know, but he's not understanding that's the key result.
Wait. But curve where? In the pipe?
The measurements they're proposing to make, which is to measure the distance to the top of the tube from the water level top, if the results of them measuring those things give you a curved result, the Earth's a curve, and if it's a straight line, even if it's inclined, would be a flat Earth.
But what it would be a curve if the water is curving to?
Oh my God.
No, we already
Is he the only person not understanding this?
We already
everybody else
calculated
but you
this. Listen, the
understands
baseline is
You gotta
the
play
tube.
back the video,
Listen.
bro.
The baseline is the
baseline's the
tube.
water.
The base. Shut the fuck up. The baseline is the tube. It is straight. It is assumed to be a straight line. The tube. We're measuring that against the water.
Tube is the baseline. Okay.
The tube.
And you guys are gonna measure
That
it against
makes
the water.
sense.
Okay, I get it.
Yes.
Oh, for last. Thank God for that.
Welcome to the
All right, so
I mean, you can
water is
decide
the
what
one
your
we're
reference
gonna
is.
show.
I prefer to go with the fact that you
You
know
would've
that
just
water
shut your
has got a
mouth and
shape,
listened,
and you
would've
know
heard
that
it.
it's going to be the right shape.
Exactly.
The
Fuck no.
tube, we only know, we
I'll
don't know
bet
that
you-
for a fact. We do
Why
not
would
know
I
unless
bet
you
you
look at the drawing.
$10,000.
We don't
Guys.
know
I will
the
never
drawing
grant you that.
unless
I
we
will
go
never
and look at
grant
the
you that.
drawings.
Water
We
doesn't curve.
don't know
Water
whether the
doesn't
tube is
curve.
exactly straight, but I suspect
So,
that it is.
I don't
is
grant
there
that.
a way that we can validate whether the tube is straight or not?
Yeah, we
Look
can
at
look
a
at the
big ass
plans.
water level
With
and actually fucking do
the
it for a change.
architectural design.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the plans and they say it's straight, I'm
It's
prepared
the
to accept that it's perfectly straight.
straightest thing in the universe,
Okay.
man. It's the straightest thing in the universe, according to them.
All right.
Damn.
Even
Then
the
we
even
said
the
that.
Oh, that is true.
the
Who said that?
concrete
Second to my
cover.
sexuality.
We can assume that the concrete cover is straight too, right?
The tube isn't the tube. Can't you
fact that
see
you
the
had to
actual
say that
metal
out
external
loud
tube? Well,
is
some of those
pursuing
pictures, I don't know where it
question.
varies. Some of those actually show the metal.
Yes,
tube,
yes,
but
you
it's-
can.
No.
You can see the concrete and the
I'll
tube.
show you how.
Yeah,
it's
you can actually see
designed.
the tube.
The
Yeah, some
the
of them.
tube that they shoot the laser through is inside of the concrete
I think it's
housing.
visible. Oh, is it? Oh, okay, that's problematic then.
Yeah,
You got all these
I've got some
ideas,
Some of the
diagrams.
pictures I saw
You got
actually
all these
seem to show the
ideas
tube.
to show the
Some of the ones
curve and
I
This is
thought
what,
you
how
could
it
see.
is. Do you see my screen?
Okay, let's go.
How did they get R to begin with? Like,
But if it's in,
you got all
if it
these
goes in a
ideas.
circle,
man.
if it goes in a circle, obviously it doesn't need to be
but I'm not meaning to do
straight.
that, guys.
Yeah, Brandon, what did I see?
No
Because
one's
I
gonna
thought I
listen to
seen the
that.
tubes on top of the concrete in the picture with the lady in it. That's real close. What the hell did I see? That the tube is in the concrete?
Yeah, see, they've got this cross
You guys
section. I took this
misunderstood
out
where I
of
was
their one of their documents. I don't that described how
That's
they
a good
built it or
document.
something.
Right. No, I mean, it does look as though it's following the tube pretty well, though. I mean, I'm prepared to accept if they're saying that, for instance, the top of that concrete thing is at a fixed distance from the tube, then it will follow the tube. But yes, you see, we were introducing. Yes, you see, there's potential here for it not being quite right. But
Just for safety reasons, though.
but it
Anybody
looks
who's
as though they're
actually a
trying
real
to do that. So
conspiratard,
let's assume they've managed to do that. They've actually are
don't look
following
up the
tube.
blueprints to LIGO or anything because it might raise some red flags.
I was just wondering why
They're already
Rumpus's
watching you.
argument
Why do you say
wasn't
that?
coming from.
Hold on, James. Grim was saying something. Why do you say that it might raise some red flags if we look up the blueprints?
Well, I mean, only if you're a white male in the U.S. Like if you're doing it and you're a white male in the U.S., you're assumed a terrorist and do not be looking up blueprints and shit as a conspiracy theorist.
I got
Yeah, we've already pulled up the blueprints,
Bad times
man.
for all of that.
So
Yeah.
let me say this, Brandon. At this
Let
point,
Rumpus do it.
I'm wondering how did they got the tube straight against
Differential
what is their
GPS or
reference?
differential GPS was certainly used on some of them. I don't know whether it's used on the early ones. I don't know how they.
They
I
laid it out
certainly know on
first.
some of them they use differential GPS.
So they were not
planned
able
it
to
out
use
with
level water,
you're
right?
They planned it out with differential GPS, and then they put each section down section by section and adjusted them in place.
Yeah, but the GPS is based on what?
It was all done on
Altitude?
triangulation, guys. It was all triangulated a long fucking time ago.
The GPS is based on reality. So if the Earth is curving, it's going to match perfect. If the Earth is flat, it's going to match perfect.
What
It's just based on reality.
Euclidean
GPS doesn't prove it's
Put
Earth
some
is flat or
bulldozers
curved.
over
It
there
just
in the
proves
middle
that
and
everything
start
is
pushing
level.
land to the edges.
What do you
The
smoke?
point is the tube has to be straight, or at least the center of it does, for the light to go to the mirror and back again. Now, as
That's
I say,
why I
the-
said GPS is
Do
on
you mean
trial
the
just as
strain
much as
particularly,
LIGO. So
or
we
what?
get to find out here if LIGO is if GPS means level or curve level. So GPS is on trial
it's
just as
not
much as
level.
LIGO.
It's not level. It's no one's suggesting it's level. It's straight, which is not level.
That's what's on trial, Rumpus. For God's sake, man.
No, but you said the way you phrased that sentence, you
trial.
didn't give the
I
alternative.
said level or curve level. Okay.
Well,
That's
you're
what's
gonna
on
find
trial,
a theory
level,
of
Rumpus.
curved
the
level.
spheres.
Level is not curved. So you can't use the word level. For geodetics are saying level is curved. So those two things
You
are the
just say
same
wait.
damn
You just say
thing.
level is not curved.
No, level is
The
curved.
defense
There's no
would like
difference
to
between
bring
level
Mr.
and
Perpendicular
curved
to the
level.
stand.
They're both curved.
That's what's on trial, you fucking
No,
moron.
you can't say it's a different dichotomy between level and curve level because they're both the same.
No, do you know what we're debating here? Rumpus, what are you here for? What are you debating on this channel?
Someone's got
level. To show how freaking stupid.
Rumpus,
you are.
okay, listen, the survey we did
Level and
before you
curve
put
level are the
curvature
same
corrections.
thing.
In your
Rumpus,
Level
before
and
you put
curve
curve
level are the
corrections.
same thing. You can't say
Before
between one or the other.
Wait a minute, man. Before you put your curvature corrections in our measurement.
Rumpus.
If I were to shut the fuck up and actually do something for a change, go there and fucking.
For God's sake, before you put your curvature corrections.
If I told the contractor to pour the concrete and make sure that it's curved, is he going to make it fucking level for me, or is he going to curve it in some way?
No, if a contractor's
like,
going to lay
relative
some
to
concrete, he's
what?
going to be given some.
So there is a difference between curved and level, then,
relative
yeah?
to what?
No,
Here's what you're gonna say.
there is no difference.
There is no difference. So I want my driveway. Okay, so I want my driveway. I want my driveway.
There's no
to be nice
difference.
and
Usually
curved.
the earth is flat.
Concrete's usually in like 12-foot sections when they're the hugest slabs you want to make them, right? So you're not really working with anything but 12-foot sections. They'll bend on their own at the joints if they need to. There's really no need to argue about this.
When constructors are get told, as Brian will know, they're told to put this thing at a certain particular elevation, and if you're going to lay a pool of concrete, then that will naturally form a level, which is curved.
In your opinion, for the purpose
Well, we can prove this. Well, we can prove
Right, that's
hold
what's
up,
on
for the
trial
purpose
here,
of
Rumpus.
having good distance
but I'm telling you that's-
and elucidating your points clearly and concisely. Stay away from the word level because we disagree on what it is.
No,
Say curved
level is
versus
defined in
flat.
surveying
Curved versus
documents
straight.
as
It's not hard.
curved.
Yes.
But when
Level
you
is
can't,
defined.
you
No,
cannot
you're conflating
appropriate
the term
word
level because you haven't
If Brian
proven
uses
that
the
level
word
is curved.
level,
So
he's
stop
using the
saying it.
surveying term for level, which is curved. Go and look at a surveying book.
You haven't
and that's
proven
what I will
it, so
tell you.
stop saying it.
If he wants to use the word straight, then he should mean that. If he uses
guys
the
should
word
both
level,
say
that's
straight
the
and curved
surveying
respectively.
term, which is curved.
I'm with percentage on this. I would
Word
stay away
curved.
from.
Okay.
I would stay away from the word level and just use straight or curved until we figure out, what's going on with level.
It's amazing. Don't even know what level is. It's the opposite of curve.
No, it's not. And if
Fucking
you looked in a
amazing.
surveying book, you would see that I'm right. You've not done so. You're simply
put anything
speaking
in
from
a
a
book,
position
Rumpus.
of
So
complete
what mile
ignorance.
marker does it?
You
What
know
mile
nothing
marker
about
does
this
it
subject.
mean that it actually curves and doesn't level?
You know
A
nothing
mile
about
marker.
this subject.
It's the
The
opposite.
default is that level is flat.
You don't know. You've not done any surveying. You've not read any surveying literature. You know nothing about this. You're
I
just
don't
speaking
need to
from
know.
wishful thinking. You don't need to
Rumpus,
know.
are
There
you
we go.
saying that
Hear
they
that,
never
guys?
knew
He
what
doesn't
level
need
was
to
until
know.
Explain it
He's
to
not
him,
read
Rumpus.
any of the
Rumpus,
literature. He doesn't
shut
know
your
anything
mouth
about
for a
surveying.
second.
He
Are
doesn't
level
need to know. Well done,
lines
James. You've
with
just
respect
demonstrated the
to each
I
level
haven't
of
other?
seen any surveying
intellectual
evidence.
engagement you have on the
Hold on.
subject.
Let me
I haven't seen any
rebuttal.
definitive
Let me
evidence from
rebuttal.
surveyors that level is curved.
What
If you could provide it,
what
that'd be
Rumpus is
fantastic.
saying, what Rumpus is saying is that mankind had no idea what level was until
No,
surveyors came.
not what he's saying.
That's exactly what he's saying.
That
It's
is what
not
he's saying.
what I'm
Newton
getting
knew
at.
exactly
Yeah,
what
it
level
is.
meant.
Because it's in the surveyor book.
All sensible people for thousands
You
of
can
years
put
have known
things in
the
a
Earth's
book
curve,
where
and
they're
they
not
knew
practiced and
that
irrelevant.
water level followed around the Earth, and therefore they were talked about that being level. Quite
Yeah,
when they did it in
well,
English, I don't know. In Old
I
English, whatever,
understand why you're
I
not
don't
an
know when
architect.
I
I'll
don't know
tell you
when the
that.
term level was actually the etymology of the
I'd
term
hate to see you
level.
try to build
But
it.
when they did
Parallel.
it, they all knew, because we've known for hundreds and thousands of years, that the Earth is curved, and so they knew that the water was curved. So they knew that it was. I don't know when the word level was used, but when they first talked about what the water does, if they used the word level, they would mean that it was curved.
So why wouldn't you be arguing on behalf of the means they used for, what did you say, 1,000 years, a couple thousand years?
Yeah, I mean, the Greeks knew the Earth was
Okay,
sphere,
so the means they
thousands of
used
years.
back then to find the curve, when you're talking about this canoe in the canal, Why would you
I
even go
didn't
there?
talk
Why
about. I
wouldn't
never
you
mentioned a
just
canoe in a canal.
use?
I never mentioned
Why
a
wouldn't
canoe in
you
a
just
canal.
use what works for you? Why wouldn't you argue that?
Why wouldn't I argue what? I don't understand
See,
your
if
question.
I think if we held you to the fact that you got to use people of 2,000 years ago for your
I don't.
argument, that
I
makes
don't. I
you look
don't use it at
silly.
all. I was just describing.
Yeah.
We're talking about the etymology of the word level. I haven't used anything they've done. This is what flatties do. They like to say Aristophanes or some measurement of the distance of the sun is done in 1600, and therefore we've had to upgrade those measurements, and therefore, oh dear, there's a problem. I always use the most modern measurements. I do not use the old stuff because the old stuff is always out of date. You always in science use the most up-to-date information you've got, not the oldest, which is what flatties do.
Because the oldest was wrong.
Well, I mean, I've forgotten Aristophanes, for instance, came up with
How do you update a measurement,
Hold
Rumpus?
on.
That's what you
Aristophanes
said.
came up with a radius of
Update
the
a
Earth, and he was
measurement. That's
10% out.
hilarious.
So I'm not using his measurement for the radius of the Earth or any other subsequent. I'm using the most modern measurement. You haven't got an argument here. What are you gibbering
You
about?
can't update a measurement. In 50
you can't
years,
update
12
the
inches
measurement?
will be 12 inches.
Well,
It's
can
never
make it,
We're
updated.
measuring.
No, that's not
Don't
true.
be
You can
stupid.
make it. You
You
can make it more.
moron.
You make it more
No.
precise.
Jesus Christ.
So do you guys
No, you
understand what the
can't.
Oh
do
my
you understand
God.
what
You
the
cannot.
concept?
You
Yes,
Once
you
you
can.
get to the
You
stupid
absolutely can make
person.
it
So
more
anyway,
precise.
we're going to close out the
No,
show
you
here. We'll
can't.
do final
My
thoughts.
God, you're
You guys
stupid.
can figure
This is
out
the
what.
most stupid thing you've ever said.
All right,
Jeff.
Rumpus.
And you've said a
Shut
hell
Yeah,
of a
up.
lot
because
of
you're not letting me
incredibly
finish,
stupid things.
Rumpus.
Shut.
You're not letting me finish. That's why it sounds stupid.
Actually,
Hold on, we're doing
have
You guys can
final
finish in your
Guys.
final
have
thoughts.
redefined the length of an inch.
All right. Just
Final
act like I'm not
thoughts.
talking. Let's just go with Damnation 3. Final thoughts.
I was literally coming in here just to listen to you guys kind of bicker back and forth, but it was entertaining. That's it.
All right. Thank you. Percentage.
Yo, thanks for the show.
Thanks, man. Brian.
Yeah, man. Got my youngest grandbaby right here. He's a doll. But I just want to say, if Larry and Jesse go out there without notifying me and buy my back, then it's all for nothing. Y'all better let me know. So give me a chance to come out there and do this with y'all, and we could put this thing to bed. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Chief Squatting
You better.
Dog. Jeremy.
Yo, hella, dude, I don't know why you guys have been arguing about this simple thing for so fucking long. It's so easy to do. All you have to do.
Yeah, we're
you
just
don't
gonna
even-
get a canoe.
Yeah, no, you don't
Oh,
even
my
need the canal. It's fucking laughable. You just get your
No
fucking little
canoe.
cute. You just get your cute little level device, and you measure the change, or you measure the inclination on one side, and if it doesn't match the inclination on the other side, it's evidence of exponential change, thus curved. If it's the same, that's evidence for a flat Earth. Because we already know the thing is straight.
Thanks. Jeremy.
That's what I like to use with
on, James.
lights. Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, is it that? I mean, is it, you really try to take 2 hours to figure that out?
All right. That was
relax.
good.
We're in
Thanks.
final thoughts.
You should have quit while you're ahead, but go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah. So you've changed your mind on the canoe. I'm glad. But yeah, I feel like two guys could get this done like right now. Just shoot over there with a laser level. You know, you don't even have to get that close to the building. You go in between if you go in between the tube and the canal, you should be able to get a measurement off of that. Have a guy hold a board up or something. I don't know. So there's somewhere for the laser level to hit, and you could measure it. And I mean, I feel like we could get this done tomorrow if we had two guys down there with a laser level. That's all.
Thanks, Jeremy. Earth is life.
Anybody that's been doing surveying for many years, either planar surveying, knows that level in surveying is a curve. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, all right.
Enigma.
Yeah, they assume it's a curve. They know it. They don't
Hold
know
on.
it. They assume it.
Hold on. We can talk about it afterwards. Enigma. No. Epi. Aaron. Farming ganja.
Entertaining as always. I don't have anything else.
Thank you. Fuzzy Ewok. What's that? I think you cut out.
Nah, I don't know what to say. Nah, whatever.
You don't have to say anything. All right. Thanks, man. Gio.
Yeah, it was a good show. I appreciate always being with everyone and listening to the discussions. I didn't say much today. I was busy doing other stuff, but I enjoyed listening. And thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, Gio. James. James Richard.
Great show, Brandon.
Thank you. Jace.
Good job.
Thank you, Kosho. Left lane. Mars Mushrooms.
I think it's one of your best so far.
Really? Thanks, man.
Shout out to the mushrooms on Mars.
Thank you, thank you.
OLM.
Yeah, if you admit that LIGO is real, you admit that it's measuring gravitational waves. Welcome to the globe.
That's what I'm saying, man. Their whole premise of what they're doing inside that building is fucking ridiculous. My bad. Go ahead, Brandon.
We were all thinking it, right? Rob on the level Keen. We'll come back, Rob. Bob. No? All right. My final thoughts. Thank you to the panel. Appreciate it.
Don't skip me. Don't skip me. It takes me minutes sometimes.
Well,
I just want. Okay, can you hear me? My mic low?
Yeah.
Nah, you're good.
Okay, so I just want to address a couple things. To the guy who doesn't know what a water level is, you should just really look into it, and then do some measurements yourself. That was the other thing I wanted to address. Getting two guys, that's all you need. Two guys to make some measurements with an auto level and a water level. You two guys will know that the Earth is not flat, but the water is. So just get on our level. Thank you, Brandon. You're a great show, man.
Thanks, Rob. All
Hey,
right.
Brandon.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Left lane.
Or get on.
Yeah.
Get on our level or get on our curve.
Yeah, to Rob King, my question wasn't what is a water level. You presented a water level micrometer. My question was, what is the micrometer part? I know what a fucking water level is. Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, Left lane. All right, guys. Well, I'll come back and record, but thank you very much.
Hey, sorry, that wasn't against Left lane. Left lane, I know you know what a water level is. It wasn't in regards to your question earlier. It was the other guy, Chief Squatting Dog.
Canoe guy, the guy that wanted to get a fucking canoe.
Yeah. Sorry, Left lane.
All right, we'll let them work that out on who was being talked about. Doesn't know how to use a water level. Cleary, $2. LIGO demonstrates Euclidean 3 space. Thanks, Cleary. I really do wonder if they are doing what they say they're doing there. Seems like a lot of trouble to go to for a whole lot of nothing, but who knows? Whatever you want to do with your time, I guess. Anyway, thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Thanks for watching the show. Appreciate it. And yeah, have a good one.